Welcome, Lance Blackburn here tonight. I'm your play-by-play guy. I'm joined by, in the pregame at least, with Scott Kibbe from the Seguin Gazette. Hank Dieter, your voice of the Panthers, is down on the field tonight. He's going to be honored tonight, so he'll be here for kickoff. But you are watching live from Irwin Lee Field here in Geronimo, Texas, where tonight the Navarro Panthers take on the Giddings Buffaloes. Stay tuned for the Panther football pregame show next. You're watching Panther football on the Navarro Panther Network, powered by the Panther Posse. No, you're good. They can't hear me right now, right? Okay. I never know when they're running that if they can hear me or not. So.
First team in school history to win a district title and the first to qualify for the playoffs. They held their opponents to just 98 points in the regular season for a school record that stood for 32 years. Their 73-0 win over Smiley set records for most points scored in a game and largest margin of victory that stood for 30 years and 36 years respectively. And that year, running back Russell Herzog became the first Panther to run for 1,000 yards in school history. Their success was previewed the year before when they upset the 6th-ranked team in the state, the Rungy Yellow Jackets, despite entering the game at an 0-6 record. Representing that team here tonight are Coach Dennis Newman.
So we're back.
Clayton Robertson.
They are announcing the Scott Kibbe here with me, Lance Blackburn as well. They're announcing the 40th year anniversary for the 1982 team that was the Navarro Panthers' first district champions ever. Right, Scott?
Yes. One of the most memorable teams, I think, of the 50-plus years now the Panthers have been playing. They had the previous two seasons, they had lost 17 out of 18 games. They had been shut out 12 times in those. But the one game they won was against the 6th-ranked team in the state at Rungy. They went down there, huge upset, and it just kind of spurred them thinking maybe maybe we can be a pretty good team. Maybe we can put it together. And so in 1982, led by just a great defense, held their opponents to 98 points regular season, put it together, won their first district championship, went to playoffs for the first time. Had a game a lot of people talk about. They clinched it with a win here against Falls City. Cold, rainy night, as I understand, but it was a huge, huge win, and some of those guys will never forget. Panthers didn't win another outright district championship till 2008.
Oh,
didn't
wow.
make it to playoffs again until 1990. Well, they made the playoffs in 83, but and lost the first round again, where a lot of those guys were on that team. But it did not after that until 1998 get back to the playoffs.
Well, of course, Scott Kibbe here, our Navarro Panther football historian. So no, that's awesome. You know that you always got to have one team to start off a tradition, right? And this is them. So let's talk and welcome to Geronimo, Texas tonight, where it's a sunny 92 degrees. The winds are out of the south to southeast at about 13 miles an hour, but and we got a rather low humidity. So by kickoff or shortly after, it should be actually really comfortable here. But Scott Kibbe's here with me tonight to do the Panther team preview and pregame here. And, last week we were at over in Lavernia. It was a rough night for the Panthers. They lost 40-14, bringing their record to 1-3. But we're coming in tonight playing the Giddings Buffaloes. And what do you think, Scott? I mean, your perspective on where the team's at right now.
Well, I think this is a game, as I talked to Coach Blunt this week, it's non-district, and you can talk about non-district games are not what matters, but are not matter as much. And they're a lot of their injured players, they're going to hold off until bring them back in 2 weeks against Lago Vista. But talking to him, you get the impression this is a very big game. They at least need to play real well.
Right.
They need to get some things working right. They need to get some of the mistakes worked through, the penalties, the fumbles, the things that have plagued them. They've got to get going right and try to feel good going in the district. Something to build you some confidence because you got a tough one right away in Lago Vista.
You do.
Week one, you're running right into it, and so they just need to do some things right. One of the things he talked about was that as he's telling his players, bad things happen in a game. It happens to everybody, but good teams bounce back. Good teams make breaks. They make a break to bring things back their way. Panthers have not been able to do that. They've only forced 2 turnovers. Both were in the win against Smithville. Those 3 losses, no turnovers forced. They've had a lot of different mistakes. He felt, especially last week, the big mistake, the high snap, was huge, and that they didn't. But it's something you can recover from. It's still early in the game. It only made it, I think, 14-7 after that. But it seemed like they just didn't get mentally back to where they needed to be.
Gotcha. So in the first half, and you're the stat guy, and I'm going to read you some stats here, but in the first half, the opponents have outscored our Panthers 101-41.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to be looking for tonight from the Panthers is execution early, and on both sides of the ball, right? On offense, I think we've seen our offensive line steadily improve a little bit every game, at least in my mind. I don't know how you feel about that, but it's like they flash, that 80-yard drive last week.
Yes.
And then it kind of just poof, it shut down, and we didn't see much, but it flashed, and it did seem like there were some holes last week, but for the running backs, we just couldn't quite get through them and execute every play. So
it's consistency, and then the other problem they have is just being able to stretch the field. The great Navarro teams, if you can go back. You can go back to the 2015, 2016, where you had Jake Wright pounding it, and you had Tanner Law who could break it any time. That's you couldn't play inside or outside. You had to respect both.
Right.
They haven't had that. Teams can bunch up on defense.
That's right.
And not if they're not going to be able to break out. That's where obviously they miss Antoine Mebane so much.
Right. So the Panthers are averaging 4.7 yards a game. So let's talk a little bit about the passing game, because I think in the passing game right now, it's not pretty. It hasn't been pretty the first 4 games. But it's something breaks down when the pass. Sometimes it's the pass blocking. Sometimes it's crisper routes that our receivers can run. Sometimes we don't catch the ball. Sometimes we don't necessarily read the right coverage or throw to the right guy. And sometimes we don't throw a good pass. But I do think that the Panthers, if they can get a passing game going, I really, really feel like that's going to help open up some of the run game and get the defense back on their heels and moving backwards.
Yeah, I think I think we've seen good signs. One, let's say they've not thrown an interception this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a positive.
Correct.
He has not taken a sack this year.
That's correct.
None of the players played quarterback, so they're protecting the ball, and with Null he can spread out with his athleticism. Can really go outside and have that pass or run option. I've seen some nice catches. I mean, we have some receivers have made some good plays.
Right.
But a lot of it is they're getting in too many third and long situations.
Right.
And
Predictable, and
when this team has to pass and teams can just pin their ears back,
right,
it becomes so much more difficult.
That's right. We're a surprise pass team, if you call it
yes.
that, right?
Yeah.
You know, we catch them off guard, you know, and then peeking in the backfield or something. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the defense. You know, and I think you mentioned it in your article this week, and I'm a big stat guy and me and Hank talk about it a lot, is getting off the field, right, for the defense. 56% for the opponents this week on third down conversions, and I think it's that one play. If we can just get off the field and get our offense another chance.
I think about that series with Lavernia last week in the first half. I think there was a sack or a fumble and had them in third and long around their own 40. If you can get off the field, then, but they got their good receiver open. Big play. That was very big in the game. There's been so much of that this year.
Right,
Just
right.
56%. I've got to go back and look. This deep in the season, I can't remember 56%. Last year was 21% for the whole season.
Wow. Big difference.
Yeah, it is. You just can't.
I mean, that's 2 out of every 10 times versus 5 out of every 10 times, right? So or more, 5.5.
All right, I made it back up here. So
oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Hank has joined us back. I thought we were going to have him right before kickoff, but, man, he's quick. He got back up here quick.
Yeah, so. I felt better standing next to those guys, you know. So,
I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say I'm right in line with you because I haven't seen a team that, you know, I've seen defenses here that would bend but not break, and that's what's happening. We're seeing the break. We see them bend a little. We thought, okay, they can get off the field, make the other team make a mistake here or there. Sometimes you're not always the the most dominating defense, but sometimes you can always, you know, let them make the mistake and capitalize off of that mistake. And I haven't seen this team capitalize on any mistakes from the other teams as we have seen in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing you have to keep in mind, one, the offense isn't keeping the ball as long.
Right.
You know, Navarro offenses churn up yards, churn up times, long drives. They're not getting that, so they're on the field more. And the other thing I think is also the short field.
Right.
And I hope that, you know, I hope that, given the circumstances and given what I think will be a low-scoring game tonight, hope they'll keep that in mind. Try to play for field position a little bit, because it just seems like the other team's getting the ball near the 50 every time, and the Panthers are getting it inside their 30 at best.
So let's, for time's sake, gentlemen, let's jump over to the Giddings side, okay? Giddings, for you out there that, and maybe you're tuning in from Giddings, Texas, we hope you are and listening to us tonight. They're a 4A Division II, same size school we are. They are 1-3. They've won 1 game and lost 3. They started the season at Columbus. They lost 42-7. They went to Jarrell and picked up their only win, 21-14. They came back home against Laga Vista, who we'll see as our next opponent in a few weeks, and lost 42-10. And then last week they lost to Burnett, 28-7. So they have a first-year head coach, Michael Adams. Their coach actually has been their offensive coordinator for the past several years. And so they return a bunch, and you guys both know Giddings always gives us a tough game. They're always big. They're always physical. They're always tough. They always have a bunch of speed. I mean, when they get off the bus, they look like a really solid
almost
football
like a
team.
college football team coming off the bus.
Yeah.
They are so much like Lavernia last week. There are so many parallels between them and Lavernia. Good programs. Both of them had their worst season last year since 1981. That's kind of a strange coincidence, but same year. They both have played tough schedules and kind of struggled with that, but they're both trying to put it together under first-year head coaches, both real big up front. We'll see what they can do tonight. Their problem has been offense. So 45 points is all they've been able to put on the board.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about their offense. It looks like about a 60-40 run-to-pass ratio. What I noticed when I was watching them this week is they have a lot of different formations that they run on offense. And they have a workhorse guy, number 3, is a senior. George's Awad he's their workhorse. He'll split out as a receiver, and he'll also play in the running back position. So they've got him. They've got number 2 as well, Kobe Clemens, another big, physical, speedy guy. He's 6'1", 187. So I think that's a kid that or a player that the Panthers should watch. And then the other thing that stuck out to me was their offensive line's really young. They've got 3 sophomore starters, a couple of juniors, no seniors, and they catch the ball really, really well as their receivers. So
yeah, according to Coach Blunt, where the problem has been the offensive line. It's not there yet. It's still developing, and that's where some of those breakdowns have been.
Right. And then on the defensive side, they base out of a 4-2-5. Probably against us, they're going to run a little bit different. Their D-line, let's talk a little bit about their big boys on their D-line. The D-line's the strength of their defense. They've got 2 guys that are just monsters. Number 68, Josiah Sampleton. He's 6 foot, 300 pounds, Hank.
Yeah.
And
he's a bowling ball out there, I'm telling you.
And I mean, we've watched him for how many years now, and he's always just given us fits. And then his co-D tackle teammate over there next to him is Kevin Richmond, another number 54. So watch for 54 and 68. We're going to have to block him, right?
Yeah, I mean more than block him. And those guys you don't really need to block. You need to just isolate them and put them in positions where they take themselves out of the play. And that's where the Panthers used to be really good at. And let's hope this team could do it tonight. When you trap them, you let them go. You let them come upfield, and then all you do is take them from the side and just move them a little. You don't have to dominate them. You don't have to do a lot. But you're isolating on that player for that particular trap play, and they usually end up taking themselves out of the play. But they can still be very disruptive. If they guess right, they're going to be right in the middle of it, and there's not a lot you're going to be able to do.
Okay, real quick, we're going to jump back to Scott, and he's going to give us his fun fact for the week, and then we'll get into the coaches' interviews.
Pretty much my fun fact is the 1982 team. I preview my fun fact a little bit. I don't know much else I can tell you about them. They did have the first 1,000-yard rusher in school history in Russell Herzog. We've had a ton since. I think the next one may have been Ellis Wright in 93, 94 area, and then we've had a lot since then.
Right.
But he was the one that kind of
broke
that
mold.
and got started. Yeah.
Well, guys, for the sake of time, let's jump into the pre-recorded interviews with the coaches for the Panthers and for the Giddings Buffaloes.
All right.
Thanks.
Good evening.
Scott,
this is Hank
for jumping
Dieter
on,
down on the field with Coach Rod Blunt for the Navarro Panthers. Coach, can you tell me something you could take away from that loss against Lavernia last week?
Just getting back to the little things, making sure we're focusing, doing the little things right. Each step is important. Each hand place is important. Making sure we're playing together as a team, and we got to be able to handle adversity. You know, one bad thing's not going to define the game if we have the right attitude and pick each other up and go play that next play.
It's a good point of emphasis, I believe, and I hope that we can see that tonight. So you're playing against the Giddings that comes in at 1-3 also. They've been struggling a little bit, but what do you see what you need to do with their offense?
They're still deadly on offense. They played some high-quality teams as well. We got to slow down that quarterback. And number 3, they're going to try to pound the ball at you kind of like we do. They'll get in multiple sets. But we got to shut down the running game and make them go to the air.
Yeah, I noticed that they were not as much as a throwing team. They like to try to run and pound you. They do have some big boys up front. And again, I know you've always told us you always wanted to control that line of scrimmage. So what do you expect with your defensive line versus this offensive line of Giddings?
It's going to be a battle. They have some big kids. They're well coached. They play with good technique. We're going to have to make sure that we're doing the things right, maintaining our gap, and playing our tails off tonight. It's going to be big for us.
All right, Coach, turning to your offensive side. Now, what do you have to do against that big defensive front that they have, that they like to keep their linebackers free? But what are some of the things that, I know you're not going to give away the game plan, but what are some of the things that you can do against that defensive line to kind of slow them down?
They're going to have 2 of the best defensive linemen that we've seen, 2 of the best players that we've seen so far this year on that D-line. He's been starting against us since he was a freshman and doing a great job the last 3 years. We got to control him. make sure we know where both of those guys are lined up every single play and get a hat on them. The ground linebackers do a great job of scraping and making plays when we have to double team those guys. So we got to get movement on that defensive front to mess up their scrapes.
Yeah, now, Coach, we always talk about, all three phases of the game. The next phase is your special teams. And I know you haven't been, happy about it, but you've been looking for improvement all these last four games, actually. And so what have you seen now where you think you can take the special teams?
The kids saw how big it was. Last week we had a mishap, a bad snap, and it affected the game real bad. So they're taking it serious. We're working hard. We got to be the guys that create the breaks on special teams.
Okay, Coach. Well, I ask this every week. So what are going to be your three keys to victory tonight against this Giddings Buffaloes team?
Keeping our heads, not hurting ourselves. We love this series, this matchup. It's been a great game ever since I've been here. Come down to the last minute, and we got to be able to play 48 minutes and keeping our heads and not getting down, picking each other up. But it's always going to come down to turnovers. We gotta protect the football and create some turnovers on defense.
All right, Coach. Thank you for that, and good luck tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Lance Blackburn here with the Navarro Panther Network. I'm here with first-year coach Mike Adams for the Giddings Buffaloes. Last week, they took a loss, 28-7 against Burnett. Brings them to 1-3 for the season. So, Coach, traditionally you guys are big, physical, tough, athletic. You play us every year, give us fits. What would you say were some of the positives that you've seen throughout the season this year?
Well, we're growing. We've got a bunch of sophomores that are having to play right now, and so every week those guys are getting a little bit better. And then we've got a bunch of guys that haven't played a lot of football, and so we're trying to get back to that big physical, idea that we've been. We're counting on some of those guys on the offensive and defensive line to grow up a little bit.
Right.
And then first year quarterback, and so he's learning and figuring some things out. So each week they're getting a little bit better, and hopefully by the time district gets here, we'll be ready to compete for a playoff spot.
Right. So you were the offensive coordinator for the past several years here at Giddings. This is your baby. This is your offense. Talk to me a little bit about your offense. Have you implemented anything this year that you changed? And I'm not asking you to make any plan.
Really, the biggest thing we've done year in, year out is we kind of tried to tailor make it to our kids. And so, a couple of years ago, we had that big old quarterback that could run it. We ran it with him, a little bit more than we're doing now, and then we had a couple of good running backs, the last couple of years. And so we gave it to them a little bit more. Really, our biggest thing right now is we're feeling this team out still to see what they're good at. And a lot of it has to do with our quarterback and seeing what he's good at. So I would say our offense is multiple, mainly because we're trying to figure out what best our players can do.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You're tailor making your offense just like any good coach to your athletes and seeing what you can do and moving forward. So talk to me a little bit about number 3, senior, your workhorse, George's AWOD. Special player, right? He's a great kid. Huh?
Man, he's a great kid, and he's worked really, really hard to get himself in the spot that he's in. He's really probably a slot receiver, and he said, Coach, I'll do whatever, and we found him at tailback last year. And same with our fullback number 2. He's really a receiver, and we're kind of short on running backs, and both of those guys said, we'll do whatever. We'll play whatever. So it's been awesome to see those 2 seniors kind of take the next step for leadership and just accepting whatever role we ask them to do. That's really been probably the coolest thing about those 2 kids.
Yeah, very unselfish kids, sounds like. Just a great thing to see. So let's flip it over to the defense. Let's talk about your 2 big boys. I mean, you can't help but notice number 68, he's a senior, he's a defensive tackle, Joshua Sampson. We played against him for years, and he's given us all kinds of problems. I think what I heard is he squats about 800 pounds or something crazy, some huge number, right?
He's an 1,800-pound power lifter, which is, I don't even know how to wrap my right mind around that kind of number. So he's a pretty strong kid, and obviously he's been with us for 4 years, and we're hoping we can keep this thing going as long as we can, just for a couple of these seniors that they've done such a good job over the last 4 years.
Right. So, and then he's got his teammate that plays right next to him, number 54, Kevin Richmond, another defensive tackle, another senior, and another just really great kid and a big guy. Right.
They do a good job. They play off of each other really well. They move up front and slant a little bit, move in and out of gaps, and they do a good job of playing off of each other. And Josiah's kind of that that ringleader there that moves us and gets us in and out of our gaps and stuff. So it's been fun to see those seniors really have the opportunity to play together. And we'll miss them. We'll miss them when they're gone.
Sure. So let's talk a little bit about Navarro. Traditional, and I say traditional, I emphasize the traditional slot T offense, which there's a lot of teams running slot T, wing T in the state, but I think we run a more traditional style. What if you, and again, don't give me your game plan or anything, but if you had to give me two things that you're going to try to do, or that you have to do against a traditional slot T to stop that this evening.
Well, the plays are the lead and the trap and the buck. Those are the bread and butters, and we've seen those forever and ever. And a team like this, if you can't stop 234, they're going to run 234 till the cows come home. And so you have to try to line up and stop their base plays. One thing that I've noticed that's a little different this year, they're running their quarterback a little bit more because I think he's a pretty good player. I think he's a good athlete. And so I think they're a little bit more diverse than what they've been because of him. And he throws it well. Really the biggest thing that to me is scary about you guys is you've turned the ball over some. And so if you eliminate the turnovers, I think you're better than a 1-3 football team, to be honest with you. So I'm anxious to see how we hold up against it because we need to. Next week we have a bye week. And so you come play a good physical ball game to test where you are, and that's why we like playing this against you guys week 5. See where we are. We have 2 weeks to kind of heal up and see where it takes us when we hit district play. So
awesome. And if you can give me two or three keys to the game for Giddings for the Buffalo to win tonight, what would you say?
We're going to have to be disciplined on defense. We can't let all that motion and movement and all that mess with your keys.
All right, we're back. Panthers kicking off from our left to right, and Giddings will be receiving in the south end zone, and they will be moving from our right to left. Hank, you got a quick play or key to the game tonight?
I think the Panthers have to play with a lot of physicality, and number 2, hold on to the football. That's my 2 keys.
Mine's to win the turnover battle.
There you go.
So the kick is up. It's fielded about the 17-yard line. Number 13, he gets outside, and the flag comes down, and he is. I think he ran out of bounds on his own about the 46-yard line.
Yeah.
But we do have a yellow hanky.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a low block or a hold that's going to go against Giddings.
Yeah, it looks like they're indicating holding against Giddings.
So that'll help the Panthers out, but that would have been a nice return, and that return's negated by that penalty. It takes it all the way back inside the 30, or right at the 30 of Buffalo.
And Giddings will start their initial drive of the ball game at their own 30-yard line.
All right, so Giddings will set up shop on their own 30-yard line. 1st and 10. There's 11:53 in the first quarter. Let's see what our Panthers can do on defense. Two receivers to the near side, one to the far side. Shotgun formation. They do throw it. He launches it. It looks,
Bryce Nall knocks it out.
There was a little hand fighting, it looks like. Bryce Nall looks up at the very last second and knocks it away. It's an incomplete pass, so great defense.
Yeah.
And it looks like we've got a new starting corner. Bryce Nall, they moved him back to corner.
Yeah, we saw him play corner last year quite a bit, and it looked like the receiver looked like he'd actually had his hands on the ball, and then it was knocked out. It was, what is it? That's a name I didn't.
Cade
Patchke.
Patchke.
Yeah, he was the intended receiver. Nice job by Bryce Nall. I wanted him to turn around a little earlier and go and grab that ball.
So 2nd and 10, he hands it. Going to the right side, my number 3, and he's bottled up for a loss by the Panthers. Great defense.
I was trying to, was that Arias down by his feet shooting through the gap? Man, he found the gap and just ran downhill and just took the legs out.
So,
unbelievable.
The great play, and we talked about it last week. Jacob Arias has been playing great in replacement of Monroe, who got injured in the first game. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 12 for the Buffaloes. They snap it. He rolls right. He's going to throw it. Oh, he's getting pressure, and he just throws it straight. He throws it out of bounds. Incomplete pass, and that's going to force a Buffalo punt.
Yeah, another pressure by Arias. Jacob Arias was back there in the backfield, along with several other Panthers. I believe that time Bo Brumley was on the backside, and Linder had nowhere to go with the ball. Just throw it out of bounds and protect that from being an interception or a big sack.
So punt formation, as the Buffaloes are running in a player late there, so they get their 11th player on the field. Snaps good, kicks up, nice high kick.
Yeah, why did he let go?
Looks like the Panthers are not going to field it. It takes a side bounce, and it is down to about the Panther 40-yard line.
Wow, we saw something we haven't got to see in a while. Panthers get off the field. They stop them on 3rd down.
Yes.
And now we get the ball back, and that is such a good feeling. Now let's see what the Panthers can do with that.
It is, and we talked about them getting off the field on a 3rd down, allowing about 56% of the time. So that is a nice, refreshing feeling.
Yeah.
That we haven't seen here in a few weeks. So great job for the Panther defense.
Now let's see what they can do on offense. We saw it in weeks past. The Panthers have been able to take the ball and drive it down, usually on their first possession or so. But then after that, they go a little stale. So let's hope they can keep a rhythm tonight.
Bryce under center. He snaps it. It's a handoff straight up the middle. It's Cohen Blunt, and Cohen fights forward for about 8 or 9 yards. Nice run.
Wow. I don't know if you saw the offensive line, how they fired out. I mean, it was real close. People would think, well, that looks like a false start. It wasn't. They were right at the snap. But those linemen fired out 3 or 4 yards, before Giddings even knew what happened. Great job by that O-line.
So I guess his knee went down, so it's about a 6-yard gain. So he hands off going to the right side, and that is Hayden Tolliver, number 32, who is a new member to the backfield this week.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to search far. Probably every other player on the Panther team can play running back, as they know this system so well. But, talk about stable running backs. You can pull them from linebackers, defensive backs. We know Hayden Tolliver plays mostly as a linebacker. But, hey, nice job by cutting it up and getting the 4 yards or 5 yards needed.
So 1st down on the Buffalo 47. He hands it going to the left side. It's Landon Taylor, and he's bottled up there for it looks like a very minimal gain.
Yeah, and you got to like the fight, though. He didn't go down or right away. They had to take and really push him back before, Landon Taylor was giving up on that play. But that time it was the defensive line of the Giddings Buffaloes.
It looks like it was number 23 and 54 in there on the basically the right side of the Buffalo defensive line who made that happen for them. So 2nd and 8. Oh, it looks like a fumbled snap, and it looks like the Buffaloes are saying they've got it. I don't see any indication. Yeah. Yes, I do, finally, from a referee. So it looks like it was a fumbled snap by Nall from the center, but I couldn't tell what happened there. But the Buffaloes are going to have the ball for their 2nd drive.
Here's the replay right here. And we'll take a look at it. Josiah Sampleton comes up with it. Yep, as we saw it there.
It looks like Bryce never actually got the snap in his hand. So it's a good first drive for the defense, but not such a great drive for the offense. So the Buffaloes have it. Snaps up. He hands it, and the Panthers wrangling for about a 1-yard gain.
Nice job up front, linebackers, and And the defensive nose guard, and that was Jaden Gomez up inside, taking down the running back, Awad.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and 9. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. They're in the shotgun formation. He's back. He's going to throw it out to his right side to number 16. Oh, and he just makes a little, almost like a little bubble screen. Nice move and picks up a Buffalo first down.
Yeah, and that was one where you missed tackles. Oh, they could really hurt you when you get outside there and it's one-on-one. You got to make that tackle. You got to break down, though. That's the first thing. You can't just attack right away. You've already committed, and that's where it could really hurt you. I think that was actually Bryce Null out there on that missed tackle.
So the Buffaloes are going to have it at the Panther 40, looks like the 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Snaps back. He is going to throw it. He's rolling to his right. He's getting a lot of pressure, and he is brought down by Landon Taylor.
Yeah, Landon Taylor. It's like, is he going to throw it? Is he going to throw it? No, okay, I'm going to just take him down. Let's have this is one of those, let's have a meeting in the backfield, and everybody did. They met at the quarterback. And good job by the Panthers. So it looks like Panthers, they rotated a lot of players in on a nickel package.
I was just about to say the exact No, but it's a second and, a bus ride to San Antonio, as you would say, Hank. But 7:58 and counting in the first quarter. But, yeah, there was a bunch of substitutions for the Panthers on defense there. Snap back. He hands it off to Awad. Awad makes a nice move. He cuts up and has a nice sizable gain up into Panther territory to it looks like about the 46-yard line of the Panthers.
Yeah, he actually got a good run off of that. And I was looking to see if there's a flag on the field the way the officials were taught. They were saying something to the coaches of Navarro. I don't know exactly what that was, if it was going to be a sideline warning or if they had something going on with one of the players' equipment. Just not sure. Now, the coaches, believe it or not, people think the coaches can't be on the field. That's not actually true. They can be up to the numbers, but they have to be back inside that white line, that thick white line, before the play starts. So that's a lot of misconception by a lot of people as well.
So they mark it at the Panther 47. It's about 3rd and 15 for the Buffaloes. They snap it. He is going to throw it to the right side. He's got a receiver wide open, number 6, and he is hit hard. He's fighting, and I'm not sure. It looks like he's going to have the first down.
Oh, my goodness.
Somebody came up, and I didn't see exactly who that was, but that was caught by number 6, Wyatt Kamariski Jr. It was a nice play by the Buffaloes, and I think he drug across the field on that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of pressure, and it was thrown to the same side, so you could even call that, it looked more like a waggle route where he's going out, or you could call it a bench route. He's coming across, but he didn't come all the way across the field. I think he came from the same side and went on a little bit of out route, and it was the blitz came from that same side, so you throw to that side, and it's wide open.
So the Buffaloes are going to have it at the Panther 31-yard line, 1st and 10. They have
a stoppage of the
stoppage. There's 7:16 left in the first quarters. Yeah. So as the refs get this sorted out, I'm not sure exactly what. He winds the clock. Snaps back. He does hand it to Awad. Awad's running to the right side, and he's bottled up for a no gain. And that looks like that was Bo Brumley who drug him down and lost his helmet.
Yeah, the foot got caught. I think Awad's foot got caught in the face mask and brought it off. You know, these newer helmets, they have it to where they're not off to the, in that same place that we used to have those old leather helmets. I mean, the old, I didn't play that long ago, but still.
Leather.
Yeah. These helmets are designed a little different to where they don't sit on your side of your face the same way as the old ones did.
So 2nd and 10. Snaps back. He's rolling to his left this time, and a flag's down. Stoppage of the play. So,
but let me say this about the helmets. These helmets, they protect you a lot better than the old ones we had. That's for sure.
That's right. So false start penalty. That's going to back the Buffaloes up 5. And it's going to bring up a 2nd and 15 from the Panther 36-yard line.
Now, I have to say the Panthers look a little more physical. They're attacking more. Let's hope we can keep seeing this on the defensive side. And I still think they're going to make Giddings make that mistake. An underthrow, tip ball, a fumble, anything can happen if you stay aggressive.
And that's been the theme for the Buffaloes offense this year. They've given up the ball quite often. So the snap back, he is going to throw it. He throws it right down the middle. Number 16, right up the seam. He's running. He's down inside the Panther 5-yard line.
We got a flag.
Yeah, another flag on the far side of the field.
Yeah, and you're right, Lance.
He's going to throw it. He throws it right down the middle.
Again,
number 16, right up the seam. He's running. He's down inside the.
And there's nobody in the middle flats to take that because you got to throw it under the safeties. So quarterback did a good job. Linder did actually a great job of throwing it between. What would have been the linebackers there and the safeties, underneath the safeties on that seam route.
So they are going to mark it at the 6, just outside the 5. So Giddings substitutes quite a few players, and look who we got. We got the big boy, number 68, who plays defensive tackle, Josiah Sampleton in there. Yeah. And I heard that he does come in and play some offense. So let's see where he
yeah, and maybe he's going to be the fullback.
No, he's lining up as it looks like they've got about.
They got the jumbo package here.
They do. So Giddings under center. He hands off to a wad going right, but he has bottled Jacob Arias.
Yeah, he's all over the place tonight on that defensive side of the ball. He is flying to the ball, and that's what you want your inside linebackers doing, and not waiting. You don't want to hesitate. Once you know where the ball is, you've got to go.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and goal from the 4, just inside the 5-yard line, about the 4-yard line.
Yeah, and they're running out of offset I here.
So he does a bootleg. He's rolling right. He's got some pressure. He throws it in the back of the end zone, and it looks like a Giddings touchdown. Number 16, Cade Patchek.
Yeah, and he's tonight been their go-to guy, and we hadn't seen him be, the big-time receiver, throughout all their games. But tonight, my goodness, he's catching every ball thrown.
And he is their leading receiver. But and he's a big kid. He's a big, tall, physical kid. So hold is down, kick is up, and it is good. So with 5:11 left in the first quarter, the Giddings Buffaloes do take it down the field, and it looks like a 53-yard drive, and the end result was a 4-yard touchdown pass to.
They're calling it. Oh, I see a player timeout, and that's
Cade Patchek. And that looks like it's a Panther injury.
Yeah, now I do have one announcement I want to make. Is about the Geronimo Volunteer Fire Department.
Oh,
they are having their annual fundraiser with an auction, and they're going to have meals, barbecue. That's going to take place on October 1st, and I believe that all starts close to 5 o'clock. I'll double check on that, but I believe it is at 5. So the Geronimo Volunteer Fire Department, their fundraiser, October 1st. Not tomorrow, but next week, Saturday.
Okay, so 7-0, the Giddings Buffaloes up on our Panthers. Panthers are going to start their second drive here.
Yeah, but you have to say, though, that Giddings went down the field. They had to earn it. It wasn't nothing that
there was no big plays.
Easy big plays. The biggest play I remember is the seam route that
Right.
was to Patchke. Patchke or Patch.
No, I think it's Patchke.
Yeah,
I think he got it. I think we finally got it.
Yeah.
So he kicks it deep. It's going to be over the Panthers' head, and it's going to go through the looks like
it
into
did.
the end zone, barely there.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go sideways there.
Yeah, you never know which way that football is going to bounce, right?
Right.
But yeah, the Panthers will take over on their second drive here.
And that bad exchange between the quarterback and the center was the cause of the first fumble. But you got to take and work from there. I thought the Panthers were doing a good job moving the ball up to that point. We saw Hayden Tolliver come in and run the ball well.
The offensive line was firing off like we hadn't seen all year.
Oh God!
Better than what we've seen at least for the first four games, right? So
and if Coach Blunt says they can overcome adversity.
So the Panthers hand it off. They start at their own 25. They hand it off to Guerra, number 9, off the right dive, right tackle play, and he picks up a minimal gain of about 3. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 7.
And it looked like he had some room on that play. He just got tripped up a little bit.
Yeah, the turf monster might have grabbed him.
That's exactly right. And it was like, some of the old guys that were out there walking on the field says, "Man, this is different altogether. I've never been on artificial turf."
So the Panthers hand it off again. This time it is Hayden Tolliver. And, boy, the Giddings defense is fired up. Looks like number 44, Rex Shoemaker, a sophomore, came up and made a nice play. He's one of their inside linebackers. So that's going to bring up 3rd and about 7, it looks like.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job of just scraping and able to attack once he saw who had the ball. But let's see what the Panthers come up with.
So big play, big 3rd down play for the Panthers. Bryce hands it off, going to the left side. It's Landon Taylor. He's got a bunch of room, but it looks like he's probably a little short.
Oh, I would have bet the ball looked like it was right at that line. So let's see where. They're giving him a first down.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, he's waving them down.
So yeah, the Panthers get I believe their second first down.
Big play there for the Panthers.
Oh yeah.
Because turning the ball back over there so quickly, the defense was on the field for a little bit. So 3:53 left in the first quarter. The Panthers have the ball at their own 35-yard line. And it looks like we've got a timeout on the field. So, I'm going to jump into a couple of the high school events that's going on or happened. Going back to last Friday, the 16th, volleyball played at home against Davenport, and they lost in 3 sets. So that's going to bring them to an overall record of 11-17 and a district record of 1-2. Then they played again on Tuesday, the 20th. They played at Bandera, and they won that in 3 sets. So 2-2 in district after that game, and 12-17 overall. So also tennis. And I think I say this every week. Tennis is hot, man. They are on fire. They played on Wednesday against Karnes City here in Geronimo, and they won 19-0. And big win for them. That brings them up to 4-0 for the district play and 9-1 overall. And I was told that next week they will play for the district championship against Lavernia.
Oh, wow.
So good for them, right?
Yes. And
then we'll jump. Well, let's go ahead. I'll keep going here. Volleyball tonight is at Bernie. And then tomorrow, cross country they're at Gonzales. And then FCA, our Fellowship of Christian Athletes, had their weekly meeting this morning at 7 a.m. And one of our local students, female, Sam Wegman. Sorry, the Panthers, they hand it off straight up the middle. Looks like Guerra off the left side. It looks like he's going to pick up a few yards there.
Yeah, go ahead and finish that thought about Sam. You said.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sam Wegman, one of our local seniors, was leading the FCA group this morning, and they had 100+ students there. So,
oh my goodness!
So good for her. And
does she play softball as well?
She does.
Yeah.
So second and looks like 6. They hand off to the right side. I think that's Hayden Tolliver running, and a flag comes in.
Balls out
late.
Oh wow! We got helmets off, and Bo Brumley's gonna have to do something.
Close to a
helmet, unless it was pulled off. I'm sorry.
No. Close to a first down, but let's see what the flag is. And
Looks
yeah,
like
Bo
6.
Brumley.
They hand
Bo
off to
Brumley,
the
we've
right
seen
side.
him playing well tonight, but he's lost his helmet here a couple of times.
And a flag.
This time it may have been pulled off, so we're waiting to see what because if it was pulled off and a penalties call on that, he gets to stay in. He doesn't have to come out for a play.
Well, the Giddings defense, I know, is getting a little feisty, and I know they're after interviewing their head coach before the game, they wanted to, they came to play, and they accepted the challenge all week, and they always enjoy playing us because we're a physical football team, and then I think their coach even said it gets us ready for our district play.
Yeah, same for us. They've been out every year, so that goes against Giddings. So you hear the cowbells are out. So we'll give it a big another for the Panthers.
So did
it was a personal foul.
A personal foul against the Buffaloes, which is going to mark off 15 yards down to the Buffalo 40-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for our Panthers. So maybe that was it. Maybe they ripped Brumley's headgear off. And
that's what I think the call was. Now, Panthers, it's not only about getting the break, it's what you do with this break that really matters. Well, let's see if the Panthers can take advantage of it.
So Knoll under center. He hands off straight up the middle. It's Guerra. And Guerra runs up, and he looks like he's going to pick up about almost 4 yards, 3.5.
Now another helmet comes off. Yeah, that looks to be number Caleb Hagan.
Caleb Hagan, number 60.
This time, I guess he was going to put it on stand. The official blew the whistle, says, no, you got to get out. Like, oh, man.
So the ball sets at the Buffalo 37-yard line. It's 2nd and about 7. And nice drive going for the Panthers here. They hand it off. It's Guerra up the middle. He's got a lot of room, and it looks like he's close to another Panther first down. And from where the ref's walking in, it does look like he is going to give him a first down. So,
wow, he came through there like a train, man. He just was bouncing off people, rolling over people, doing whatever he could to keep his feet moving.
And we've said this many a times this year. Guerra is a hard runner.
Yeah, he is.
And he churns his legs really, really well and keeps fighting.
And almost broke that one out.
He did. No, under center. He hands it. Landon Taylor going off the left side this time. And another flag comes in. And it looks like he's down to about the 26-yard line of the Buffaloes. So let's see what the flag is.
Yeah.
No, under center. He hands it. Landon Taylor going off the left side this time.
Okay.
And another flag comes in.
Chop block called against the Panthers, if y'all didn't hear that from the stadium announcer. So that hurts. But that's going to back us up. As they get this sorted out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if it's the
Sorry, we're peeking at replay up here, trying to figure out who it was, but
yeah, it's hard to tell because it was just a bunch of bodies all.
Yeah. So they hand off going to the right side. It's Cropper. And he gets to the outside. Another late flag. He gets down to about the 35-yard line. So it was a first and looks like 21. First and 21 for the Panthers. And Cropper gets, looks like, 6 yards.
Horse collar, that goes against the
Giddings.
Personal foul. Horse
So now we're
collar
going
called against
that,
Giddings.
and an automatic first down after that call. So
Wow.
Well,
So we're going back and forth with penalties here. So it looks like they're going to mark it at the 21-yard line of the Buffaloes, and it's going to be first.
I thought it was going to be 1st and 10.
I thought it was going to be
first down, but hey, that's okay. First down and 1st and 1 is okay with me.
Right.
If you think about it.
Yeah, and maybe this is where you can air one out possibly.
Yes, sir. Well, they called the timeout on that one. Do you have any more announcements that you'd like to make as well?
Yeah, so let's talk about what happened last night in sub-varsity football.
All right.
So sub-varsity football last night, well, actually, let's go back a couple of nights. Let's start with 7th grade. 7th grade was played at home, and they lost. And this was a wild football game, okay?
To Bernie North, was
They
it?
lost to Bernie North. It was 8-6. We were up, I think, with 48 seconds left, 6-0, and they stripped the ball and went 50 yards, and then they got the 2-point conversion. And man, that was a tough loss for the 7th graders. But in 8th grade, Bernie North, the B team went to Bernie North and lost 8-0.
All right.
And then the A team lost 39-0. And as one of my buddies called me and told me, it was a air show from Bernie. They were airing the ball out quite right and left. So, and then the freshmen went to Giddings yesterday and won 28-18, and then our JV won 37-0.
Wow.
A big win for the JV last night. So we're back to play. Ball spotted at the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 it is. They hand it, goes straight up the middle. Guerra, the umpire throws another flag.
And
I don't know if that's chop block again or if that's holding. But that's usually one of the two. Chop block against our Panthers. So it looks like either maybe the Giddings, maybe Giddings was like, hey, I've been seeing a bunch of chop blocks. Maybe they haven't. But that's the second time here in this drive that the Panthers have been called for a chop block.
So, yeah, the first signal he gave was showing like below the waist. This one was actually a chop block signal. So it's kind of like I'm looking at them both. And but either way, it's going back 15 yards, and now the Panthers have a first down at 25 coming up here.
So first down and a bus ride to Seguin, it looks like.
Yeah, going south.
And going into the south end zone. The ball's setting at the 41-yard line for the Panthers, at the Buffalo 41-yard line, that is. So let's see what we got. Open up the playbook here, huh, Kank?
Yeah, I think so. You're going to have to do some different things.
So Bryce hands it, going to the left side. Landon Taylor gets a crease. They did a nice job of sealing the edge there, and he picks up down to about the 30. Looks about 31-yard lines are going to mark that.
Yeah, you hear me back here cringing a little bit, going, oh, if he takes that one, and that's one of those that if he possibly can get to the outside, there's no other defenders out there.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of green grass out there, huh?
Oh, goodness. And it's hard because I tell you, the Panther running backs are told to cut it up.
They are. So second and about 21, straight up the middle, handoff to Cropper, and Cropper fights down to about the 25-yard line.
Good hard run. It's very hard to overcome a 1st and 25, and the Panthers are slowly getting back into it to where they can make this a manageable, probably 4th down, but you never know if they can make this 3rd down. But right now, I mean, I still see the linemen pushing to the side, what we talked about in pregame.
Right.
They're not going to move anybody off the block. They're going to have to let them come up and then go off to the side. But
so it looks like the clock is going to run out here in the first quarter. The Panthers are going to have the ball facing a 3rd down and 14 from, it looks like, about the 25-yard line of the Buffaloes. So anyways, maybe we can bring up the QR code and talk about the audio-video club. and talk about a donation. So this is our 5th game. This is the Navarro Panther Network. There's the QR code. So please donate. If you haven't donated, please donate. We had a great week of donations last week. So
we did.
Thank you so much to the Panther Nation out there, Panther Country that donated, and in the Lavernia game last week. But if you haven't donated, if you can donate, it goes straight to the Audiovisual Club. The students are doing a masterful job. It goes straight into the club and benefits them. So
yeah, that works out great.
You got some scores maybe over there?
Yeah, I was looking up some scores. Wimberley's leading Lampasas 14-7 in the first quarter. They're just about to get out of that first quarter. Lago Vista is over Smithville 12-0. Marion is losing to the Rohawks of Universal City or Randolph. It's 20-13 at halftime. And then you've got Gerald losing to the Taylor Ducks 7-0.
All right.
Yeah,
well, it looks like the Panthers are facing 3rd and 14. Null under center. Cropper in motion. He hands it straight up the middle. And Landon Taylor's got a lot of room, and he's going to walk in for a Panther touchdown. No flags.
25 yards out.
Well, the Panthers score, and this was a little quick trap play that you like to run. Usually it's run a little bit off to the further off to the left side, but Landon Taylor sees the hole right up the middle and is able to take advantage of it and is able to go basically untouched after he gets past the line of scrimmage. We're looking at our own version of the replay.
So the kick is up, and it is good. Line drive kick from Sneed makes it 7-7 with 11:53 left.
I tell you, on that play, though, the lineman did an incredible job creating a wall and then taking out several of the Buffaloes. I believe that was one of the linebackers, too, that we had been talking about tonight, and was able to create a wall, keep the linebackers from coming back inside to take out Landon Taylor, and he walks into the end zone. Again, great job by the offensive line. Good job by Landon Taylor. Just the vision, to be able to see that. So
right. Well, that was a long run.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll take 25 yards. We haven't seen a bunch of long runs from the Panthers this year, but much needed, right?
And that was 3rd down and 15.
Yeah.
You got to think about it. It was one of those situations where the Panthers needed a long run no matter what the case was, and he was able to get more than the 15 yards, got another 10 yards to get in the end zone. So good job. And I harp on it a lot, but those plays don't happen unless there's horrendous blocking. And that doesn't always come from the offensive line. Every single person out on that field, all 11, the way that the slot T works, everybody has a job to do, either carrying out a fake, no matter if you're running back or not, and they're blocking as well. So it's got to be all 11 men on the same page to make it work.
So the Panthers are going to kick off from their own 40-yard line. Looks like it's going to be Sneed. He kicks it straight down the field. It's fielded at about the 21-yard line. Looks like he's bottled up and turned back inside and brought down, it looks like Landry Blackburn was in there. I think Arias was in there. Number 44, that's Knox Galini. So a host of Hanters were in there for a nice. So they are going to, it looks like the ball will be spotted about the 32-yard line of the Buffaloes, and they will start their 3rd drive.
Well, I'd watch that patch key. I'd make sure to keep more than one person keep an eye on him. It looks like Rangel out here as a safety is that person to do it.
So they hand it straight up the middle. He's bumped outside, and there's a whole host of Panthers, and I think it was Landon Taylor there that brought him down, and he lost yardage on that play.
Yeah, Landon Taylor initially had him in the backfield, bumps it, and then runs him back down as he gets bottled up. Awad did not have anywhere to go on that play. Good job by the Panthers. So the Panthers doing a great job tonight.
So, yes, awesome job. we've got a bake sale going on down. So if you're in the stadium and you're listening to us, please go down and grab something from the bake sale down there by the fan shop. So that's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Blitz up the middle. He throws it to his left side. It's caught by number 2, and he's knocked out of bounds. It looks like by Gabriel Rangel by the Panthers, but it wasn't a nice gain there for the Buffaloes. It looks like they're going to mark it about the 40-yard line. So a pickup of about 8 yards, and it's going to bring up a 3rd and 2 for the Buffaloes with 10:51 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, you got to hand it to the Panthers right here. They've got to get off the field on 3rd down. They've been doing well on this drive.
So shotgun, he hands it. It looks like it's a wad. Oh, and who comes up and makes a very nice shoestring tackle? Gabriel Rangel again. Nice quick feet from Rangel on that play.
Yeah.
And but he does pick up a first down.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it looked like Awad was going to go backwards just to try to get around Rangel, and you thought, well, maybe he'll lose some yards on that play, but he was able to get enough for the first down.
So they're going to spot it at the Buffalo 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Shotgun formation. He throws it up in the air, and a lot of hand fighting there, but I think the receiver was out of bounds.
Yeah, that would have been uncatchable. Either way, it's way out of bounds that before he would even came close to catching that. So
that was Patsky.
Here's the replay right
Shotgun
now.
formation.
So that was Patsky, and I think that was Landry Blackburn on the coverage. Which we can't quite see it.
A lot of hand
Yeah, he
fighting.
was several yards out of bounds, yes.
So even if they would have called initially, they would have said, okay, we'll take that back. But now it
looks like we've got.
Yeah, they're going to take it. Okay, no, they're keeping it right where it's at.
Decline. So it looks like there was an illegal motion. And the Panthers decline it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be second and 10 from the 42-yard line of the Buffaloes. Shotgun. He's rolling to his left. He's backpedaling, throws it up, and man, he threw it up really, really high. It looks like number 7, Devin Gossett, and man, it stayed in the air for a long time. But an incomplete pass for the Buffaloes.
Yeah, there's been several Gossetts that's come through Giddings as well, and as running backs and such. But man. That ball looked like it could have been there, but like you said, that ball was up in the air forever.
I kept waiting for a Panther to run in there and
grab it
and run the other way, but it didn't happen. So 3rd and 10, again from the 42-yard line. It looks like there was some movement. Landon Taylor was pointing in into the left side of the offensive line for the Buffaloes. So the Buffaloes shooting themselves in the foot on this one.
And that was one thing that we've seen by the Panthers this year is a lot of false starts. But tonight, knock on wood, we have not seen any. And now we've seen it on Giddings. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 15. Panthers now just have to play smart though. Don't think you've got it made because it's 3rd and 15. You got to play defense.
That's right. They converted on their last drive on a long 3rd down play. So let's see what the Panthers do here. So the ball's backed up. He's retreating. Nice coverage. He throws it. Another high ball up in the air, and it is caught. It's caught by number 2, Gabriel Rangel on defending the play. But that was caught by
nice
Colby
coverage.
Clemens.
He throws it.
And I mean, that was a heartbreaker
there.
But,
Ball
before
up in
the game,
the air.
the Giddings head coach mentioned that he has number 2, the guy that caught the ball there, Clemens, was actually a receiver. So he plays running back a lot, so he timed this jump perfectly, right?
And he got behind the defense on that side because the quarterback rolls out and throws it across field on that one.
So it's down to the 35-yard line of the Panthers. He hands it to Awad, and Jacob Arias straight up. Nice tackle, again, low tackle. It looks like he's going to pick up maybe a half yard.
Well, I tell you, Arias and Taylor have been all over the field tonight and on defense, and let's see if they can keep it up. Seen Caden Gomez in a couple of tackles we've seen right now. We've seen a lot of the players playing well. Now it's just a matter of that third down, getting off the field, and see. Right now it's second down and long, but let's see if the Panthers come up with a big stop on this drive.
So second and about 9 for the the snap trickles back to the quarterback, and the quarterback just has to fall on it.
It probably wasn't, but it almost looked like the center thought the quarterback was under center. It was under center in that play, and it throws it back. Nobody's there, but the ball just dribbled back. So.
And a couple Panthers almost were close, but so that's going to bring up third and about 12 or 13 for the Buffaloes here in Panther territory. So he snaps it. He's going to throw it. He knows exactly. It looks like Bryce Knoll on coverage, and he knocks the ball loose in an incomplete pass there at about the 10-yard line.
Well, what I like about this is the officials are letting both sides play.
They really are.
Defense and offense, but it's nothing egregious on either side. It's just a lot of hand fighting, good positioning, almost like basketball where you're trying to get yourself in a post position where you can get yourself in a place to get the ball down on the low post. And that's what these guys are doing down the field. And I think that's perfectly fine. I like that kind of defense. I like, hey, better man can just go up and get the ball. Whoever gets it, gets it. If they don't, hey, defense wins.
So 4th and 12 from the 37-yard line of the Panthers for the Buffaloes. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation. He snaps it. He's back. He's looking for, he's going to run a draw straight up the middle. Let's see if we can bring him down. No, it looks like he's going to pick up the first down along the far sideline. And, man, there was a Panther that ran up in there and missed the tackle on him. But, man, that was some nifty feet by their quarterback, Luke Linder.
Yeah, Linder, he's one of the guys you wouldn't expect to be able to run the ball that well, but he did.
So it's down to about the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Buffaloes. So he's in shotgun formation. Snaps the ball, hands it to Awad, coming to the and just hit by a host of Panthers. They read that. Again, Jacob Arias. It looks like Owen Gonzalez was in on that. A host of Panthers, and he's going to lose some yards there.
And nice job by the Panthers as they're starting to rotate. Again, their defensive players in to keep them fresh. I think that's something that's been a bigger emphasis as well. Keep your defensive linemen fresh, so that way, you've got that extra oomph when you need it. The defense has been on the field quite a bit on this drive.
They have.
Get some fresh legs out there.
So it's going to be about 2nd and 14. And the ball, it looks like it's at about the Panther 26-yard line. Snaps back. He's going to throw it. He throws it out. It's an out route, and it's caught by Patchke. And Patchke goes out of bounds. The Panther cornerback keeps the play in front of him, though. And he gets a solid gain, and it looks like it's going to bring up about 3rd and probably about 5.
Yeah, it looks like Giddings has a kicker, too, that can make this distance, even if they don't convert on 3rd down. We might see a field goal attempt.
So the ball rests at the Panthers' 17-yard line. 2 receivers to the far side. Looks like we're going to have a timeout by Giddings.
Yep.
So I think. So let's talk a little bit about. We do got a bake sale going on. The tables are located near the main entrance by the fan shop, and baked goods. They got cookies, brownies, cereal treats, cake pops, toffee, cupcakes, other sweets, and it looks like this is being done by Project Graduation 2023. So the senior class, Project Graduation.
And they had,
It looks like the silent. Yeah, it looks like we got a silent auction. Tables are located near the main entrance by the fan shop as well. The auction closes at the end of the third quarter, and items up for auction are Panther gear, Navarro gear, fan shop gift certificates, autographed memorabilia by the varsity football team this year, and award-winning cakes, pies, cookies, and other sweets. So
awesome.
So if you're in the stadium, you're listening to us, go down and bid on a couple things in the silent auction and buy some stuff for the
help the seniors out.
Help the seniors out for their project graduation. So we appreciate it. So looks like we've got about 3rd and 5. Big play here, Hank.
Oh, yeah.
3rd down, right? And
Yeah.
we talked about getting off the field. So
Yeah.
let's see if the Panthers can get off the field here. Again, the ball rests at the 17-yard line of the Panthers. Shotgun formation. They're going to look. He's looking to his left. He's got a lot of pressure. He's sacked.
Takes him out of field goal position.
That was Matthew Richardson, and honestly, I think that was a coverage sack. I mean, he waited and waited and waited and just waited too long. He was window shopping back, as I would call it.
Yeah, the defensive backs did a great job from Blackburn to Rangel, Anal, even the linebackers at times. They held one of the linebackers out. As Tolliver had the middle flats on that, so we saw. We saw good coverage, and that's what led to the sack. But good pursuit either way on the quarterback. Stayed in their lanes.
So it's 4th down. The Buffaloes are going to go for it. It looks like about 4th and 17. He's going to throw it to the right side. And there is a bunch of hand fighting, and it's incomplete pass. Patchkey was pushing. Blackburn was pushing.
Yeah. And Patchkey looked like more than pushing. He was taking Blackburn with the jersey and pulling him away from him.
Yeah.
You can see the jersey pull. And so, hey, like I said, you let them play because that one, there was nobody that had an advantage. And I always talk about pass interference as being, if it leads to one being, having the advantage over the other, that's when you call the pass interference and all. So, that's when you call it. Is when it's an unfair advantage to one or the other.
Yeah, we couldn't quite see it on the replay, but there was.
The coach from Giddings are not real happy, are they?
Maybe not. And we've got flags. So the Panthers do take over, it looks like, at their own 28-yard line. So
I don't know, but I don't know if that looks like, is that Coach Adams on the field with the head official?
So it's the Panthers' 3rd drive of the half.
Well,
they take over with 6:17 left. It looks like at their own 28-yard line.
Well, the head official tonight is Brian Anderson.
And they are having a long conference over there with the Giddings head coach, Coach Adams.
Umpire tonight is Michael Finn, head linesman Hank Natardis, and line judge Ken Navarro, and back judge Brandon Palmer, field judge Anthony Williams, side judge Adrian Abeles.
So, and I noticed this, but I'm going to bring it up since we've got a break real quick, but I guess we missed the extra point.
Yeah,
we were kind of just assuming, and it is 7-6, folks, with 6:17. Giddings, and they hand it off straight up the middle, and that looks like Cohen Blunt.
Handoff went to 8, Cohen Blunt.
And he picks up quite a few yards there, or a nice gain of about almost 5.
Panthers, with 5 minutes and 55 seconds here in the second quarter, and being behind by 1 point, they need to get a touchdown here.
All right, so 2nd and about 6. Bryce hands it off. Landon Taylor coming left, and he picks up a nice gain close to the 1st down, out across the Panther 35-yard line. It's like to about the 37. And he's going to bring up 3rd and short.
You know what I like about this game thus far is that I see bodies flying everywhere. People blocking and go. I mean, and that's what you like to see. This is football. This is not some playing patty cake, tiddlywinks, or anything like that. I don't know if anybody even knows what tiddlywinks is anymore, but still, nonetheless, I'm seeing people out there, flying around, blocking. I mean, this is the kind of football game we were expecting to see weeks ago from the Panthers.
So 3rd and short, handoff straight up the middle. Cohen, looks like Cohen Blunt, and he's dragging Buffalo. He's still going out across the 50-yard line, and I mean, he refuses to go down. And man, he gets up, and he's one fired up young man. So.
Handoff straight up the middle. Cohen.
So they are going to mark it right at the 50.
He's
The Panthers are going
dragging
hurry-up offense.
Buffalo,
They
he's
hand it.
still
Looks like
going
Cropper ran
out
off the right
across.
side. He's fighting. Looks like he picks up 5 there. And let's see if we do hurry up again. So that's going to bring up at about 2nd and 5 from the Buffalo 45-yard line. Now the Panthers looks like they are going to slow it down. So
Yeah, they're going to huddle up a little
looks
bit.
like they called 2 plays there in the huddle, but the clock is ticking. There's 4:25 and counting here in the second quarter. The Panthers are down 7-6 here from Irwin Lee Field here in Geronimo, Texas. So Bryce under center, he fakes it, and looks like I think that's going to be against the Panthers. Maybe a false start.
Yeah, I think Schulke out there was a wide out, and he started just a hair early.
So that's going to bring it back. A nice gain on 1st down. That's going to erase that gain. So it's going to be 2nd and 10.
That would have been
Panthers.
a good gain. Looked like everything was going to open up, and they hadn't used that play tonight with Bryce Nall runs the ball much tonight at all, and that was the first time we were going to see it.
That's right. That's right.
Now that takes the element of surprise away.
So the ball rested the 50-yard line. There's about 3:48 and counting here in the second quarter. Bryce under center. Looks like he's rolling to his right. He's going to run it, and he picks up and looks inside the 45-yard line on the far sideline there for Bryce. So a nice run, and he had some nice room there. So they sealed the edge very, very well.
Good block by Cohen Blunt. He made that little block on the outside that allowed Nall to get to the outside. So it's going to bring up about 3rd and 5 right now. I was going to say last night, Maynard New Tech Titans lost to the Austin Travis Rebels with the score of 36-24. Right now, Marion at halftime with Randolph. It's 20-13. Randolph leading.
So he gets out of bounds, and another. It looks like Landon Taylor just jumps out of his stance there, and he's going to be penalized for 5 yards on that.
And we were looking so good tonight, until just recently. So,
and I think with that said, Coach Blunt calls timeout to kind of regroup the troops here.
Right.
And so in the timeout here, I'm going to go and talk a little bit about next week, or I'm sorry, in a couple weeks, we've got what we call an open house at the Navarro High School. So open house and future fair. It's Wednesday, September the 28th. The doors are going to open at 5 p.m. To our counselors and teachers, and then the teachers will be available from 5 to 6:30 p.m. So Future Fair starts at 5:30 p.m. This is a huge, huge event, especially if you're looking at college or if you're looking at a trade school, or just really if you're a junior or if you're a senior, and to get out and I think Principal Scarborough told me that he's got, I want to say, 12.
Yeah, different. I mean,
12 different colleges that
I thought I
be
saw
here.
like Texas Tech on that list.
Texas Tech.
State, obviously. TLU.
UT.
Yeah, UT. So there's a lot of good schools. We're not talking about just. I'm not saying there is any bad school, but the predominant
some
schools,
big schools,
big
yes.
name schools.
Yes. So so the Panthers have got it. So I think Coach Blunt just kind of wanted to settle his guys down, regroup. So I think that was a great timeout. 3:38 left here in the second quarter. 3rd and 10 for the Panthers. So Bryce under center. He's going to throw it. He throws it out. He's got Blackburn, and he catches it. he runs a little out route, and he picks it up. He's down to about the 32-yard line for the Panthers. Great pass, great catch.
Yeah.
Really, really nice executed.
gonna
Great
throw it.
blocking.
Everything
He
went
throws
right.
it out.
Bryce Nall did.
He's
put
got
that on the
Blackburn,
board, too.
and he
Right there,
catches
Bryce
it.
Nall to Schulke,
He runs a
that was for a touchdown, but beautiful job by the Panthers altogether.
So handoff, Cohen Blunt up the middle. He's dragging, and another penalty flag comes in.
No.
He's from the umpire. I'm sorry.
It usually means holding if it comes from the umpire.
And Cohen Blunt was, that's right. Holding Panthers. It's going to back him up. But Cohen Blunt had a nice gain and had a lot of green grass in front of him. So he's running hard again tonight.
Yeah, he's got the body for a fullback, I'll tell you that. You know, looking at him come to the sideline, and that's definitely what you like to see. However, that hold will take the Panthers back. It's a spot foul. Wherever the hold occurred, they're going to go 10 yards from that spot, and that'll probably make it about is it going to be an odd number like that? Let's see. Yeah, probably about was that going to be about a 1st and 19 or something like that?
Looks like 1st and 17 by my calculations. The ball rests at the the Buffalo 41-yard line. He hands it off straight up the middle, and number 14 brings him down for Christian Clark. Was the Buffalo who brought down I think that's Guerra.
Yeah, Guerra is in there as Cohen Blunt had came out. Guerra is now the fullback. He gets good yardage on that play.
He did. He picks up, it looks like about 8 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to make it 2nd down and 9 with the ball at the 33-yard line of the Buffaloes. So Bryce hands it to Cropper. Cropper's getting outside. There is a flag down. It might be offsides. And he cuts back, and he's inside the 5-yard line of the Buffaloes. And what a run.
Oh, man, and he took the lane. That was a beautiful alley. It was a nice kick out.
Cropper's getting outside. There is a flag down. It might be offsides. And he cuts back, and he's inside the 5.
Cropper on that replay you saw, he just took the lane, and it was beautiful blocking. He didn't have to make any basically adjustments on his runs or cuts.
he shot through that hole. There was a bunch of speed from Cropper on that play.
I can remember plenty of coaches say, "Backs, hit the hole." Well, he did.
So Landon Taylor to the left side, and he walks into the end zone for a Panther touchdown. Great job by the Panthers on the left side there, blocking down Landon Taylor. I mean, if he was touched, it was hands were slapped or
There's the
something.
replay on that. We got us here at football game.
So nice block.
So Landon Taylor to the left side, and he walks
61,
into the
Gillian came in there. It looks like Owen Gonzalez sealed it. And then our swing man, I think Blackburn made a nice block in there as well. But excellent job by the Panthers, the left side of that line. And it looks like the Panthers are going to go for 2 here. So it's 12-7. They hand it. It's Cropper again, and
we got a penalty.
And it looked like the Panthers might have moved early is what I saw.
What I see is that they're calling that illegal shift against Cropper because it's not one. We talked about this before, and the illegal shift that goes against the Panthers from that non-smooth motion that the Panthers use, and sometimes I think it is misinterpreted, but other times I think they do get it right. So Panthers stay at 12-7, and that's one of those where now you might just want to go ahead and kick field goals and not chase points from here on out if you can score. Remember, the Panthers get the ball in the second half.
Right. So that brings the score to 12-7. Our Panthers up 12-7 here with 2:11 left in the first half. So, man, exciting football game here tonight, Hank.
Oh, yeah, we got us here a football game.
And I tell you, the Panthers, again, we talked about it a little bit, me and Scott Kibbe as well, as about the offensive line gradually getting better every week. And you see them really fired off the ball tonight with some vengeance, with some intensity. and engaging in their blocks. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lance, 100% agree. 100% agree.
So the Panthers will kick off. It'd be nice to hold them here right before half. And maybe I think we've got, 2 timeouts? No, I'm sorry. It looks like we got 1 timeout left. But be nice to hold them or maybe get us a turnover. So it looks like Landon Taylor is going to kick it. He's straight down the middle of the field. It bounces. It's fielded about the 12-yard line. And, man, he is hit. And, again, that's a wad, and a flag flies.
Yeah, I don't know who they're calling on that one.
And I think that was...
you're not supposed... Oh, well, I guess he is picking it up to show where the spot was, so... They're not. I did that one time, and the official goes, "Don't pick up that flag." I go, "Sorry, sir." When I was a kid, I had no idea. In junior high, it's like, "Hey, you dropped something."
And I do. And I can honestly say I don't think I've ever seen someone pick up a flag, at least a player.
Yeah. And that time, it looked like he was instructed by the official to, "Hey, hand me that flag, please."
So it is against Giddings, the Buffaloes. It backs them up inside their 15 or rest. The ball's going to rest right up about the 15-yard line, where they'll start their drive. And so they've got to go 85 yards here, and let's see if the Panthers can hold them here.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to let anybody behind you. That's just
right.
Got to understand that.
So they hand it to a wad. He's running to the left side. Another flag flies in, and he is bottled up by the Panthers for a short gain, and it looks like that's Jaden Gomez, and the Panthers are pointing towards the Buffaloes.
Holding by the Buffaloes. So unbelievable that. I mean, this turned out to be a flag fest.
Man, this second quarter is is crawling.
Yeah, we got a lot of dirty laundry out there. Get the washing machines out. My goodness, I haven't seen this many in this short period of time. I mean, we must have seen at least 5 penalties in the last, 3 or 4 minutes.
So that's going to back the Buffaloes up, and they are going to set at their own 7-yard line.
Half the distance to the goal marked off.
So half the distance to the goal. They wind the clock. There is 2:02 remaining in the first half. They hand it straight up the middle. A host of Panthers are there to bottle him up after a short gain.
Yeah, Caden Gomez, I think, was the first one in on the nose tackle, comes right up in, makes the first wrap up, and then, my goodness, the rest of the Panthers come in on it.
And that was a wad there. But, I've got to point out number 56, and this is the second week in a row I've seen him play, but a phenomenal game, at least so far, is for the Panthers. Jaden Gomez has really been in a lot of plays here and playing well at that defensive tackle spot.
Oh, yeah.
So 121 and counting, and it almost looks like Giddings might be just wanting to run down the clock as far as it. So it's a low snap. He hands it straight up the middle, and he's tackled. And let's see what the Panthers do. So 108, I was going to say, they took the last time out, 108 remaining, up 12-7, and they're going to force, it looks like, it was a long third down play. It's going to be fourth down.
That is their third and a half.
So now the Panthers, though, have to take, they want to make they want Giddings to make a mistake, either, trying to, I think it's third down because of that one penalty.
Right.
It might be. So it's still third down. And since that's the case, you want them to try to make a mistake on that play.
And I think while we're at a timeout, can we pull up that QR code and put that on the screen there for the folks that are – so you're watching the Navarro Panther Network here live from Irwin Lee Field. And we've popped up the QR code one more time here in the first half, and if you haven't donated, please consider donating to the Audiovisual Club, and such a great thing we've started here for the school, and I think tomorrow night we're going to do a dinner theater, right? So stay tuned. We're trying to get the details on that here. And have that to you before the broadcast ends. But if you're interested in watching.
Yeah, it's a last-minute deal, and they'll get it together.
So it looks like, it's third down. 1:08 remaining. Shotgun. He hands it. It's a wad. He's up the middle, and the Panthers sniff it out. And I tell you what, Bro Brumley, Hayden Tolliver came up, made a nice tackle as well. And I think Matthew Richardson was in on that as well.
Yeah, Matthew Richardson, and he's like a little ball of fire out there, man. He's all over the place. And, it's like what happens when you mess with fire, you get burned, and he was there. And I tell you what, he's really stepped it up when they had him in. He's like a fresh breath of air. When he comes in, it's like, oh, let's go,
Right. So that's going to bring up 4th down, and it looks like about 15. So we'll see what Giddings does. I'm assuming they're going to punt the ball here, but I see. They're letting the clock run down as much as they can. There's 21 seconds, and they call a timeout.
Yep.
So Giddings just trying to milk the clock here, which is obviously a smart move by them.
Yeah.
But let's see. And I'm assuming they'll probably punt it. But if it's a short punt, we get a nice return. We could maybe take a couple shots to the end zone, right?
Right. I mean, you get inside that. If you can get the ball inside of their 40, after a good return or so, I mean, it makes it a lot easier. And I've seen Bryce Nall throw the ball easily, 40 yards in the air. He has the arm strength.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a matter if we could get somebody open in there.
Right.
But, we've seen weird things happen. I watched that Appalachian State game, and I thought, oh, well, that's it. They lost it. They lost to Troy. I turned it away, and I'm like, dummy me. I'm like, I watched most of that game, and I turned it away saying, oh, they probably lost it. And I come back and I see the replay later going, oh, my God, they won the game on a Hail Mary. And it was a non-traditional Hail Mary. It was more of a tip ball that came back to the receiver. Now I bet you there's players, there's a lot of teams preparing to do that in an actual play for a Hail Mary.
So they are in a punt formation. He's back. He does punt it. It's a nice high punt.
Wow.
Gabriel Rangel lets it drop, and it's going to go onto the – it's going to come back, take a Panther bounce, and settle at about the 50-yard line, 49-yard line of the Panthers.
Wow.
So nice punt from the back of the end zone.
Oh, yeah, and that was high. And that was one of those, though, that you wish you just go ahead and call the fair catch. But if you're not sure about catching that ball,
right.
We'll take the possession. But 8 seconds with the ball spotted right close to midfield. So we'll see how this turns out. You just don't want anything that could go awry and let Giddings take the lead here.
Right.
Does Blunt play it safe here? It would be one of the questions. You do all that, and you would expect him to try to do a Hail Mary, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Panthers do something else.
So we've got someone, he's going to throw it. Bryce is back. He has time. He throws it. It's caught. Nice catch. And that was caught by number 6, Bo Brumley.
Yeah.
Brumley with it was a nice throw again, nice catch. But that's going to be the end of the first half as time runs out on the Panthers. So the end of the first half, your Panthers are up 12-7 over the Giddings Buffaloes. And so you are watching live from Irwin Lee Field here in Geronimo, Texas, where tonight you're watching on the Navarro Panther Network, powered by the Panther Posse.
Rangerettes. Under the field direction of Sergeant Ruby Tello, Second Lieutenant Alize Trevino, First Lieutenant All-American Anastasia Laura, and their captain, All-American kickmaster, Yareli De La Rosa. Social offers are Angelica Arcis, Natalie Ricorn, and Buffalo Gal Dancer of the Week is Jasmine Zachary.
Hello Panthers, I'm Clay Scarborough, Principal, Navarro High School, where our primary purpose is to graduate well-rounded citizens who are prepared for college, career, and leadership opportunities through our values of excellence in academics, extracurriculars, family, and community. This is the Principal's Report for September 26th through October the 2nd. Hey, Wednesday evening, September 28th is our open house and future fair. We'll be at the high school. College, military, technical school, their recruiters will be here that evening. Open house will start at 5, so come on in, meet teachers. We'll pass out report cards for the first 6 weeks. Our counselors are going to talk about what you need to do to get ready for life after high school. That will start at 5 in our library. Then at 5:30, the future fair will open in our cafeteria. And all these recruiters will be here. We can't wait to have them here, you here. Talk to some teachers, get your report cards, and look into what your future might have in store for you. So we look forward to all that on Wednesday evening. So I'm really excited to see you guys here. We had a great turnout last year and want to increase on that from last year. So let's talk about the week that was here at Navarro. On Friday, volleyball lost to Davenport in 3 games. Football lost on the road to Lavernia. On Tuesday, volleyball defeated Bandera in 3 games. Tennis defeated Carn City 13-0. And then on Thursday, both freshman and JV teams defeated Giddings at Giddings. So nice little run Tuesday through Thursday there for our Panthers. Over the weekend, we'll update these on the next Principal's Report. Football was at home versus Giddings. Volleyball was at Bernie. Saturday, cross country ran at Gonzales. Now let's look at the week ahead here at Navarro. On Tuesday, volleyball is at Wimberley. Wednesday, I mentioned our open house and future fair. That starts at 5. It will end about 6:30. We want our teachers to go home, have some time to take a break for the next day. On Friday, volleyball is here versus IWHS. Saturday, cross country is at Poth. And band has 3 competitions to start getting ready for their marching season. And thank you, band, for the shirt. Let's go, band. All right. Now it's time for our new weekly edition, Student Questions, Scarborough Answers. Here's the first question. This may not be a good question, but my dream career is to become an author. But as of late, I've begun doubting myself and wondering if you have any advice you can give. Any would be great. I think that's a great goal to go toward. an author. Think about the power that books have. But I was a aspiring like sports writer, broadcaster at an early age, and still like to do those sort of things. And I had a guy tell me at a real early age, start reading and do a lot of listening. And I think that applies for you. You want to be an author? Let's read a lot of books now. Let's make sure we're reading a lot of newspapers now. Because the more you can read that stuff, the more different examples you get, the more different styles you'll see, and you can kind of find your own voice and your own style that you can turn it into later. So let's do a lot of reading right now and help you on the way to that future. Oh, and major in English. That may help also too. All right, what's your favorite dog breed? Question number 2 for this week. I have to think I've really enjoyed my Labrador Retriever the most. Of course, he died a few years ago, but Captain would wake up, would run with me, and just Labrador's joy for life and companionship was great. We have a Golden Shepherd right now, and he is so fun, calmer than the Lab. But those are probably my favorite 2 dog breeds. Small dogs are good if they're inside the house, but I like dogs you can go out and play fetch with and have lots of fun. So for me, the Labrador, the Golden Retriever fits more my personality. You got to find the one that fits for your personality. All right, so that is the Principal's Report for this week. I can't wait to see you all at all these events, especially Wednesday night for our open house at Future Fair. Let's have a great week, and let's go Panthers.
Okay, we're back, and we've got Scott Kibbe's back as well. And so he's going to give us some first half stats.
All right. For getting 6 first downs, kind of astonishing number for the night. 16 rushes, -3 yards. That's held by 2 sacks. They were 106 passing yards, 7 out of 13 on 7 out of 13 passes. 2 punts, average of 39.5 yards punt. 1 fumble, did not lose it. 7 penalties, 68 yards. Awad is only with any numbers for him. He's only got 12 carries for 7 yards. Poshke has 4 catches for 53 yards and a touchdown. For the Panthers, 10 first downs, 23 rushes for 157 yards, 34 passing yards on 2 out of 2 attempts. They have not punted. They had 1 fumble early and then did lose it. 5 penalties, 50 yards. Leading rusher is Xavier Cropper, 4 for 46. And Landon Taylor has 6 carries for 45 yards, 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Brumley, 1 catch for 18 yards. Blackburn, 1 catch for 16.
Wow. Much better. Now the penalty side of things there towards the end, man, we saw it was a flag fest going on there, towards the end. I mean, almost every other play we saw a flag.
Yeah, lots being called tonight. Teams that kind of have to know that, have to kind of know how the game's being called. But I will tell you tonight, the difference is the Panthers are getting back in those situations behind the sticks.
Right.
But they're overcoming it.
Right.
And that's what's very promising. The mistakes are frustrating. It's hard.
Yeah,
it was hard to watch that first half at times.
Right.
But they've been, getting the stop of Giddings down on that drive in the second quarter. After again, another very frustrating drive, giving up 3rd downs as they've been doing all year, giving up that 4th down, and yet they didn't let them score. And they have a 12-7 lead at halftime. I believe the first time they've led at halftime this season.
Oh, wow. Well, one thing me and Lance did notice is with that offensive line, they're really firing out. When you see that offensive line fire out the way they did tonight, there a lot of good things are going to happen because, we've seen a new running back, Hayden Tolliver come in and run the ball. But we've seen Landon Taylor just really able to find the holes and is able to make good yardage and good runs. And then, Cropper comes in, and that one he didn't even have to adjust to make the touchdown. Or almost made the touchdown, I'm sorry. But he was able to go right down inside and then just take it right outside, go inside out. And he was, without even making any adjustments is what I'm saying. He hit the hole that was created for him.
And we're seeing something tonight, I think, with those running backs, too. We're getting more yards after contact. They're keeping those legs driving, and it makes a big difference. It's where they really miss Diego Chapa because he usually be able to get that for them. But really like what I'm seeing tonight, the run from Blunt and Cropper and
Guerra.
Really more Guerra's look at just more determined running than we've seen. The backs have been solid. they've missed those starters, but
Right.
the backs have done a good job. But they're I think doing an even better job tonight.
Yeah, they've done a great job hitting the hole quick,
Yeah.
and I think y'all just mentioned that, but that makes all the difference
Yeah.
in the world sometimes, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Giddings has killed themselves with 68 yards in untimely penalties. Hey, we can't. We've been playing some really good defense tonight, and -3 yards rushing. Wow.
Yeah.
And they are 7 for 13 for 106 yards in the pass, but there was one pass down the center of the field to Patchke. And then, of course, he got the touchdown. But, man, we seems like in the second quarter we locked him down pretty good. We made some good plays in the secondary. Bryson All made one on the far side. Blackburn made one in the end zone.
All
So we did get the big lob pass.
Right. But I did want to mention, though, Scott, to you is that when me and Lance talked about it, the officials are letting them play, though, when it comes to defending the pass.
Yes,
on
that's
both
right.
sides of the ball. I mean,
Right.
offensively and defensively, you see a lot of hand fighting, but nothing too egregious. They're positioning. They're allowing the defender and allowing the offensive player to try to get position. Now, almost like we were talking about, like on the low post on the blocks there in basketball.
Yeah, there's a lot of contact downfield, both offense and defense. On Giddings receivers are real physical, 16 especially. He's doing that a lot, but no call on either side tonight. You're right. They're letting them play a little bit down there.
All right, Scott. Well, thank you for joining us for halftime, getting us those stats and all. But one last thing before I let you go, what's your predictions about the second half? What do you think you see from the Panthers?
I think I think they've got things going their way. I think they're doing what they want to do. Just got to eliminate those mistakes. If they can come down to the first drive of this half, they get the ball. I think they can make things real difficult on Giddings. But they just got to stay focused and get out of those mistakes that have just been eating them up this year.
All right, yep. Get out of those holes. Now, tell everybody how they could, find you in social media and where else.
All right, Seguin, go to SeguinGazette.com and also to we get our papers around town. And we'll have the game article for this on Sunday. We don't have a game next week to preview, but ordinarily the game previews will be on Wednesday. So a week from Wednesday, you can look at our preview for the Lago Vista game.
All right, thank you, Scott, for joining us. We'll see you at postgame.
Awesome. Well, let's listen in to the grandest band in the land.
There you go.
The Navarro Panther High School Band.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the field the grandest band in the land, the Purple Pride Panther Marching Band. Under the direction of Patrick Todd, J.C. Alexander, Tyler Carpenter, and Anthony Gutierrez. Drum majors for the season are Elena McCorder, Madison Taggart, and Alex Cantrell. This evening, the Panther Band will be performing their 2022 UIL marching show entitled Sands Through the Hourglass, A Journey Through Time.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're back, Lance.
We're back here in Geronimo, Texas. It's halftime. Hank, I think I'm going to go through the first half drives.
All right. Sounds good.
We're going to start on the Giddings side. Giddings received the football, and on their first drive, the Panthers held them to a punt, which was refreshing and nice to see. Swarming defense. Second drive, Panthers started at their own 47-yard line, and it was a long drive. The Buffaloes went down and grinded it out and scored on about a 4-yard touchdown pass. But the big play was Patchke over the middle, ran down the seam,
right,
and broke a long pass, long gain there for him, and that was the big play of the drive. On the third Buffalo drive, they started at their own 32-yard line, and that was the one where there was a bunch of penalties. They ended in downs, but it also we stopped them on a long fourth down pass in the end zone, so. It was a crazy drive. The fourth and final drive for the Giddings Buffaloes ended in a punt. So 3 out of the 4 punt, scored a touchdown, downs, and the final one was a punt. So great job by the Panther defense there. Back on the Navarro side, our first drive started at the Panther 40-yard line, ended in a fumble, a bad snap, quarterback center snap exchange between Bryce Nall and Paxton Santone. On the second Panthers drive, the Panthers started at their own 25, and they went 75 yards.
Yeah.
Scored on a 25-yard touchdown run by Landon Taylor. The extra point was missed, so it made the score 7-6. On the third Panthers drive, they started at their own 28. Again, another Panther touchdown. Ended. Landon Taylor again had a short run, and
that was set up by that big run by Cropper as well, if I remember.
That's right. A long run by Cropper down the right sideline here on the opposite side of the field, and man, he looked like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, that's why I said he hit the hole.
He hit the hole, bud, and we went for 2 on that conversion and missed it. And so that made the score 12-7 in favor of the Panthers. And then the last drive, the fourth drive of the half, ended in a pass play to Bro Brumley, but there was only 8 seconds on the clock. And so
you wonder if he would have caught it and went straight out of bounds if there would have been a second left on the clock.
Right.
But because we do have we're at our home field. You would hope maybe there would have been a second to throw the ball down the field. But nonetheless, I was very happy with the way the Panthers overcame, as we talked about with Scott Kibbe, they were able to overcome a lot of bad situations. And that's usually a good sign of a good football team. It's a matter of coming back and making the best of it, but not only making just the best of it, but, really surprising us by overcoming some third and long situations, especially on that 25-yard touchdown run by Landon Taylor. That was a 3rd and 15, and the Panthers were able to make it happen and overcome the being behind the chains. So, when we talk about, I know we were going to, wanted to talk about some of the keys tonight. For the second half, I think the key is not to get behind the chains. If you can stop that from happening, I guarantee you'll be in much better shape the way they're playing tonight, the way that offensive line is firing out.
Right.
I think that's one of the keys. Obviously, hold on to the football is the other one.
Right.
Don't have a bad exchange. You just can't have that in a slot T. You can't afford to turn the ball over.
That's right. And it is a 5-point game. The Panthers are going to receive the ball to start the second half. But, we're 2 for 2 in the passing game. The offensive line is really, that you can tell they really worked hard all week.
Right.
They're firing off the ball like they have a purpose.
Exactly.
And then on defense, we've limited the big plays, and we've tackled really, really well.
Yeah. I think we've done everything right. The formula is there, but, you got to finish. And that's what it all comes down to. You can do everything right, but if you turn the ball over, make big mistakes, they get a scoop and score or a pick six, those sorts of things, it could just change the whole outcome of the game.
That's
but
right.
You got to finish it. You got to finish strong.
That's right. Limit the turnovers. We are down 1-0 in the turnover battle, or -1, I guess.
Right.
But so we're not winning that. But let's try to grab a couple and get that defense some confidence going into district play.
Yeah. I tell you what, if the Panthers come out here and take it down the field and score, it'll be a big uphill battle and climb for the Giddings Buffalo. But as bad as it sounds, that we're sounding like, okay, yeah, the Panthers got this. But, Giddings is one score away from taking the lead.
Right.
Right. No matter, just on a touchdown, they take the lead.
They take the lead.
13-12.
That's right.
So you can't afford to let Giddings have any confidence if you're the Panthers. But if you're Giddings, that's what you keep telling yourself right now. I only need one score and we take the lead. That's
right.
It.
I'm sure that was the speech in at halftime. Hey, this is a ball game.
Right.
It's a dogfight, right?
Yeah. It's like I said in the first half, we got us here a football game,
So Giddings is going to kick it off from their left hash, and it looks like back for the Panthers. We've got 3 players back, so let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I'm concerned they are going to look at an onside because they only have 4 on this side of the kicker,
right?
And the kicker's facing that other way.
So he does kick it deep. It's a nice kick. And they are going to let it roll through the back of the end zone. The Panthers are, and they will have the ball there at their own 25-yard line to start the second half.
Yeah, which always makes you nervous because the rule is you have to have at least 4 on one side of the kicker. It doesn't matter which side. And when you see that, it's kind of like, well, are they going to do it or not? And this case, thankfully, the Panthers were, but it looked like the Panthers were ready for it either way. So can they take this drive? And can they take this ball and drive it down the field, and not necessarily they won't put it away, but I guarantee you to give them a lot of confidence for the rest of the game for the Panthers.
That's right. So Nall under center, he hands it off straight up the middle, Landon Taylor, and he is taken down by number 54, Kevin Richmond, one of those big defensive tackles. And, Hank, we failed to talk about it, but it looks like big number 68, Josiah Sampleton for Giddings. I think he got injured there.
Yeah, he's not out there.
He's not out there, so I hope he's okay because he's a special player for them.
That's right.
And
you don't wish that upon anybody out here.
But
the one thing I did want to say, that was the same play Landon Taylor had scored on earlier on that 25-yard run.
Right. So Cohen Blunt up the middle, and man, he's still grinding churning his legs and grinding his feet, and he's up. He's got a Panther first down. And
that's the train coming down the tracks right there.
I tell you, he was running hard. He runs it out to the Panther 40-yard line. And that was a 2nd and 8 play, so nice job by the Panther offensive line again,
right?
To make a nice, and we're seeing some nice holes, and the backs are running. It makes all the difference in the world. A little hole. I mean, a little hole, and now you got big holes, and then you got guys running hard. So
yeah, everything is working right as long as you hold on to the ball.
So they hand it to Cropper off the right side, and he's brought down by number 8. That's Evan Young for the Buffaloes, but there is a flag.
Yeah, that flag was thrown real close to Cohen Blunt, and so we'll see what they are calling here. Against the defense. This is one of those plays that you see that Cohen Blunt was coming down. You can't go and cut the running back below the waist and come in. That's one of those new rules. I've seen it on college ball already called quite a few times.
Okay.
Where a defender comes in. Now, I know back in 2016 there was a couple of players like Mr. Liao. He used to come in and was able to just take out that first back, and Ty Shelton would do the same thing. Jared Liao and Ty Shelton, and they would cut the running back so they couldn't get out to block. Now they've changed that. You have to hit them above the waist and not below the waist unless they have the ball.
Okay, so
42-yard line.
First and 10 at the Buffalo 42-yard line. Bryce fakes it. He hands it. He's running. He spins, and he's close to another Panther first down. Nice run by Bryce. And again, we haven't seen that a lot tonight, but man, he was running hard too.
Well,
so
yeah, nice play by Bryce Null on that.
Although Bryce comes a little shaken up, he does come off the field. Colton Schulke is in at quarterback. There's 10:32 left in the third quarter. First drive of the half for the Panthers.
Yeah, and Schulke has shown that he's a good backup quarterback. You don't miss much of a beat. It's just that quarterback exchange you worry about.
So first and 10 from the 31-yard line. It's a handoff over the right side. It's Guerra. He's down to about the 25-yard line of the Buffaloes.
Oh, you love that. I don't know. It's like from here, like we said with Cropper, it's like he shot out of a cannon, and boom, he's down in the hole going, 6 yards on that one. I'm sorry. I thought it was going to be 8.
Must have been a big point of emphasis at practice.
Yeah, he hit,
right? They're hitting the hole hard.
And you got to have faith in the lineman to open it up.
So Landon Taylor takes it off the left side. He breaks free. He's pulled down by number 2, Colby Clemens for the Buffaloes, but not after a nice another Panther first down. Inside the 20-yard line, the ball rested about the 18 of the Buffaloes, and just like you said, this could be the drive here that may take a little bit of the heart and soul out of the Buffaloes.
Yeah, I think the way, the biggest concern, and I'll finish that after this play.
So he hands off Guerra again. Dive play off the left side. It's going to roll down to right about the 10-yard line of the Buffaloes.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is Coach Blunt was really concerned because of that big front defensive line. Now that you got, I believe, Sampleton out of there, then now it's a little bit different, but that was still a concern that Giddings could stop the run,
right?
But now the Panthers shown that no, we fire out and we play hard. We can actually run the ball against these guys.
So the ball rests just inside the 12 of the Buffaloes. He hands to Cropper, coming to the right side. He's going to go into the end zone for a Panther touchdown, but we do have a flag again thrown by the umpire's arm tonight has got to be hurting because he has thrown out at least 5 flags.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, he's throwing
both sides, right?
He's getting a workout throwing it about 10 yards each time, So
he might have to put that on ice later.
Yeah, they're going to call that against the Panthers. Looks like a hold. So.
And Bryce Null, he's back at running the helm. He's back at quarterback, so he was out a couple of plays, and he's back in. So it is going to back up the Panthers. It looks like they're going to set the ball at the Buffalo 21-yard line, so it's going to bring up about 2nd and 13. He hands it. It looks like Cohen Blunt up the middle, and he's stacked back and pushed back, but not after a nice gain of about 3 yards, 3.5 yards.
Well, you want to know who that umpire is. It's Mikhail Finn. So Mr. Finn back there is getting a workout, that's for sure. So now we talked about this. He said you don't want the Panthers to get behind the chains, make those mistakes. But, with holding calls, those type of calls, those are those that you kind of let go because they're out there trying and working hard.
So 3rd and 9, he hands it to Cropper. Cropper cuts back. He's running, and it looks like he's going to have a first down. Man, he had some great patience in that play and let his blocks, read the defense, cut back, and real quick and nimble on his feet tonight.
Yeah,
Cropper.
quick and nimble, and still not. And he's not using that off arm. He's keeping both hands on the ball. It's like in this area, you don't want to lose the ball. So you can tell that's been a point of emphasis too. Is wrap up with both hands.
So 1st and goal, he hands it to Cohen Blunt, and Cohen's down. And again, the referee is going to, and it looks like the backside, the main referee with the white hat throws it in at the feet of Matt Richardson. And boy, I don't know what's going on, but the Panther players are
holding.
Are containing Richardson. I think Richardson's making his plea to to his own teammates there. But, yeah, holding for the Panthers, backs him up, man. And Cohen Blunt had it inside the 3-yard line with a nice run.
You know, and to tell you the truth, I'd come right back at it. I'd go back to the well on that one, and because I don't think that well is dry, because, you know, you run it 2 times in a row. A lot of times people don't, you know, they won't. Oh, no way. His tendency is not to run the same play again. But this is one of those times where I would, and to make a point and give Richardson a little bit of redemption too, says, hey, we can do this.
So Schulke's bringing in the play. And, again, it's 1st and goal at the Buffalo 17-yard line for the Panthers. Bryce fakes it. He runs to the right. He's running over a guy, still not down. And, man, Bryce lowered his shoulder and took Jabari Jackson for a ride.
Yeah, he did. And what you love about that, again, hard running. He went out just about 3 plays earlier. He had been out, you know, he was a little shaken up, and now he comes back in to run it again, that same play, which is basically a follow after he follows his backs right through the hole. And now let's see what Coach Blunt has on the 2nd and goal. At least they're at the 10-yard line on the 2nd and goal.
Correct. So Bryce under center. He hands it. Landon Taylor off the left side. Looks like he's pushing his way inside the 5-yard line.
Well, that was a nice block ahead. Now, I have on the roster number 61 is Mac Berry, and it looked like he got out there on that lead, you know, to block on that, and he did a great job of getting that lead block to get down to the 5-yard line for Landon Taylor.
So a little bit of shuffling of some numbers this week on the offensive line, because I know Mac Bear's been wearing 55.
Yeah. Well, they have 55, I think, went to Ian Palmer.
It went to Ian Palmer, that's right. So they hand it off straight up the middle. Cohen Blunt has stood up. It looks like he's around the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 4th and goal.
And what you got to do with the big back like that is you got to be able to take his legs out from under, and that's what they did with Cohen Blunt on that play.
And so the clock is running with 5:51 left here in the 3rd quarter. The Panthers are up 12-7 and knocking at the door.
And grinding this out. Now, this is a 2-point conversion as the ball spotted right at the 3.
Yep.
That's equivalent of
equivalent of. So Bryce, it's a quarterback sneak straight up the middle, and he takes it in for a Panther touchdown.
That ball was bobbled at the snap, but the conscious effort of picking that ball up and taking it in.
It was a great athletic play by Bryce Nall.
Yeah.
As he, like you said, he bobbles it, but man, he had the presence of mind just to grab it and take it and just keep running.
Yeah, and that's a credit to the offensive line too, because any other time you would have seen players from the defensive side shoot right in, but nobody really touched him till he was right at the goal line.
So it's 18-7. The Panthers are going to go for 2. It's Cohen Blunt to the right side, but it looks like, well, no, I was going to say he is stopped short, it looks like.
Yeah, and this is where I'd always say stop chasing points. At one point you have to go, hey, let's just go ahead and kick the field goal. But I'm okay. I'm not questioning Coach Blunt's authority or anything of that nature. What I'm saying is that there is a time, though, and when that time is, that's only for the coach to determine and figure out.
Right. Well, that was a huge drive. We convert from the 3-yard line, 4th and goal, and, man, we chewed up a bunch of clock and probably, man, might have taken a little bit of Giddings hard in that one because, a long drive to come out and, who was it that the first 5 minutes of the 3rd quarter is some coaches have always said is the most important part of a game. So it dictates the whole second half. So
coming out on that 3rd quarter on that first drive, whoever has the ball, you'll pretty much dictate the rest of the game if you do what you need to do. You make a lot of mistakes, that's going to actually dictate the rest of the game too. And the Panthers overcame just a few mistakes. There wasn't as many as we've seen in the past. Good job by the Panthers to overcome those and just take it right down the field. Good running, good hard running, hitting the backs, hitting the hole, the offensive linemen making holes, I mean, and it's a concerted effort. It's not just one or the other of the backs of the linemen. It's all got to be together.
All right, so the Panthers are going to kick off leading 18-7 with 5:31 left here in the third quarter. It's Landry Blackburn with a onside. And it looks like he recovers it. It bounces off the Giddings player and right back into Blackburn. He kicks it and recovers it. I think that's the second time this year it's happened here at home.
We've seen that before by Blackburn. Now, even though it didn't get to the, I don't believe it didn't
And
get
I
to the
think
line
it
of
was
game.
I think it was their leading receiver, Cade Patchke, number 16.
Yeah, it hit off of him.
Hit off of his chest and just bounced right back to the Panthers.
Yeah, like I said, even if it didn't get to the line to gain to be a live ball, he still touched it. And once that team touches it, it goes then to the other team who recovers it.
So the Panthers are going to take it from their own 49. Bryce keeps it. He cuts back up the middle. He's moving back to the outside, and he might score. He's down to the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. On for another Panther touchdown. Huge dagger there for the Panthers.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah. Bryce Nall followed his blocks, was patient enough, and you can see he had just enough room that was about the width of a phone booth. The old phone booth. Oh, but if anybody remembers what those are, he was able to move in there, but that went, what was that, 52 yards?
Yes, it looked like maybe 51, but yeah, close enough. So we are going to kick the extra point on this one. So it's down, it's up, and it is good.
Okay.
I'm going to wait for the officials to give me the hands up this time. So with 5:19 left in the third quarter, boy, the Panthers just put a dagger in and changed this game completely in 2 plays.
Yeah.
25-7 now for the Panthers. Man.
All I can say is wow, because it's like, I'm sitting there thinking, well, player of the game, who could that be? So. Hey, but in the meantime, real quick, we'll get that QR code up if we may. And we want to let everybody know that they can donate to the Audiovisual Club here at Navarro. They're putting this all together. We've got camera operators that are students. We've got at the helm, we've got student operators that are running the computer for the stream. So make sure to click on that QR code or get your phone out, get the link, and go donate through PayPal. Be much appreciative. So thank y'all very much for all your support out there.
And let's leave that QR code up here for
Well, they're getting ready to kick
Well, that's
off.
okay. Yeah, we're getting ready to kick off. Sorry, guys. So the Panthers,
Oh,
and
another
Blackburn
one.
does it again, and this time 16 does come up.
Oh,
and my goodness.
Hey, he paid for that. Landon Taylor right there. They're still talking to each other about what they're going to do tomorrow night for lunch, I think, or tomorrow afternoon.
Well, Patchke, man, he didn't wait for it this time. He ran up, but, man, he paid a price.
Oh, yeah, he did.
And the Panthers hit him hard and tried to shake the ball loose, but it didn't happen. But that's okay. Hey, that's a gamble you can take when you're up 25-7.
Yeah,
and
don't let them run it all the way back. That was the key, and good job by the Panthers to cover it.
So
go ahead.
The first drive for Giddings start at the Panther 49-yard line, shotgun formation. He snaps it. He looks right. He throws it immediately. Oh, and straight. It looks like a 9 route. Bryce Nall on the coverage, and he just throws it to Patchke a little bit long.
Wow, I'm actually impressed by Patchke's speed, out there, because when he hit that go route, when he took off on the go route, he passed up Nall by a step at least, and I didn't catch who the safety was, if it was Rangel out there, but Rangel got caught flat-footed, and it would have went right over his head if that would have been completed. That would have been a touchdown.
So that brings up 2nd and 10 from the Panther 49. Same formation, shotgun, 2 to the far side. He's looking right again. He's backpedaling. He's rolling out. He throws it, and it is caught by number 2 down inside the 35-yard line. But again, There's a yellow flag on the field. So
and I thought this time
And-
the head
and-
official, Mr. Anderson, well, they are calling a hold.
Hold,
against-
yes.
And it wasn't like a hold because I usually don't start. I wanted to yell, but I couldn't. But
Yeah, you were jumping up and down over there,
Yeah.
and
So that was one of those where it was a tackle by the offensive lineman tackling one of our defenders, and I wanted to say was it Owen Gonzalez coming, or was it Caden Gomez? Sorry, Caden Gomez trying to come through and being tackled from behind.
And again, there's Gomez again coming through and having a nice game, right?
Yeah.
So the penalty's going to push them back to their own 41-yard line, and it's going to bring up second.
Second and 20.
Second and 20.
Wow. Now the Panthers are going to – it looks like they're going to have to play primarily pass. They may throw in a run here or there.
Yeah, so Scholke with the blitz, the right side, he throws it straight down the middle of the field. Bryce Nall, the safety, intercepts it, brings it back. He's still running. There's a penalty flag down, and Bryce, and it looks like he jumped on.
There's another flag.
I was going to say another flag. Looked like a late hit. So Bryce plays center field, picks it off.
Yeah, it looks like we had a yellow hanky party out there because they're all over the field.
So Bryce twists, and he falls down inside return. A nice return by Nall inside the Buffalo territory. So let's sort this out. The officials are having their conference here. And it looks like there was a nice block by the Panthers by Nick Swartzlosey, but man, he got in a tussle down here with someone, and it almost looks like he was ripping on the Panther face mask of Swartzlosey, and then it looks like
then there looked like a late
hit on Bryce.
So
a little frustration maybe, but hey, there we go. First turnover of the year for the Panthers, right?
Yeah, there it was. Bryce Nall playing good center field. Nobody was getting behind him. He was well behind the play where he needed to be, was able to see the ball and find the ball, and just, easy pick.
Easy. I mean, I guess the quarterback had a little pressure, and he's thrown a lot of balls really high, and it looked like one in the first half that we let get, he threw it up. It seems like it hung in the air for a long time. We didn't make the interception, but on that one, man, Bryce just played a nice center field and took it.
And I wanted to say something, that the wind has picked up here from the southeast.
It has.
And it looks like we're closer to, I'm guessing here, I haven't pulled up the weather, but it looks like we're up to about 10, anywhere close to 15 miles an hour wind that's blowing here. Because you watch the officials, you see their pants blowing in the wind, and then we're looking at the flags, and the flags on the field are just flying high.
Well, we've got the press box windows up maybe an inch and a half, and we can feel the wind coming through.
That's right.
So as the officials get it sorted out.
Dead ball foul, personal foul that goes against Giddings as well. So we had several different, we had illegal blocks that went against the Panthers. And then we also had, so I would bet everything is, this is after the interception. So the interception will stand. So the Panthers will have the ball. So they spotted at close to the 40 after the, I believe it was either an illegal block below the waist, and then the 15 yards was assessed against Giddings since it was dead ball. So it's going to bring up 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. So, wow.
So the Panthers start their third drive here in the third quarter from the Buffalo 45-yard line, and we've got whistles again.
Yeah, Panthers come out in an I formation with Cohen Blunt as the fullback and Landon Taylor as the tailback, or halfback.
So
they didn't have the right ball, and each team has their own offensive ball they use. So I don't know if that's the true reason, but looks that way to me. So go ahead, Lance. What were you going to say?
No, 4:25 left here in the third quarter. Panthers start their third drive, up 25-7. So man, if we can punch one in here. So Colton Schulke hands off Landon Taylor, and he swung down, but he swung forward for about 3 or 4 more yards for the Panthers. So nice pickup by Landon Taylor.
I have to say, Landon Taylor's had a very good game on both sides of the ball tonight.
And I tell you, he has. And I tell you, he's also had a nice game for the Buffaloes. Is number 54, Kevin Richmond. He made that tackle, and he's a defensive tackle. He made that on the opposite side of the field.
Yeah, he's very athletic. That's for sure.
So Schulke hands it off. Landon Taylor up the middle. And it looks like he's going to get close to a Panther first down, maybe just a yard or a half yard short.
Well, I still love the way the Panthers' offensive line are firing out. I mean, I saw it on that play. There may have been a missed block here or there, but they fired out. And you got to love it. You just got to love it.
So it's going to bring up 3rd and 1. The ball sits at the Buffalo 36-yard line. Paxton Santone at center. Schulke hands it. Looks like Cropper. He's off to the right side. A couple of missed tackles.
Oh.
And Cropper running hard inside down to about the 20-yard line of the Buffaloes. So big first down. Nice. Bro Brumley seals the edge and pancakes a guy. So nice job there of blocking by Bo.
And that goes to show you on that replay that the offensive line, including the tight end Bo Brumley, they're really making plays right now.
So it looks like it's at the 22 is where they spot it. Handoff to the right side, another couple flags.
Is there a face mask possibly? We'll see.
And I think that's Caleb Garcia, number 20, comes in to run the ball for the Panthers.
Quick score update with the minute 55 remaining in third quarter. Lago Vista over Smithville Tigers 27-8. So
personal foul face mask against Giddings.
So personal foul face mask against Giddings. So that's going to move the ball down. Should be, they spot it right at the 11-yard line.
Yes.
So that's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Panthers.
They can still get a first down inside the 1, but let's just go in and score here and take care of business.
So Schulke under center. He hands it. It's Guerra. And Guerra runs inside the 10.
It runs
and
into
another flag.
Wow.
Man.
Mr. Anderson, Brian Anderson, did not like something there. He threw that with some authority.
He did.
Dead ball foul, personal foul goes against the Panthers this time.
Yeah, I tell you. Yeah. We're shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit here.
Yes, sir. And it's, those are hard sometimes, a hard pill to swallow because you're like, well, they're just being aggressive, playing hard, but you got to play smart too. And the officials are going to do what's best for the game, for the safety of the game.
Sure. Of course, we don't know who that was
right,
on. So.
Right. That was one, but, I mean, he threw it with some authority. He knew it was.
So the Panthers have the ball 2nd down at the 24-yard line of the Buffaloes. Handoff. The umpire throws another flag, and I think Colton Chambers, number 4, is in the game.
Comes back from some he's
had a shoulder injury against Cuero, and so he's back, and that's his first carry, I think, since Cuero. Now he comes back off the field.
Yeah,
so
it's good to see him out there, though. That's for sure.
But we're getting a little sloppy here, I think. A holding against the Panthers.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, and everything was they declined it because it'll bring up a 3rd down and no gain, basically. Well, a yard or two, but now the Panthers here are in a position to where we saw them close to this position before in the first half, and that's when Landon Taylor made a big run. And let's see if they can get somebody else into the end zone. We've seen, it might be time to see if Schulke can make some big plays like Nall did earlier.
So 3rd down and a huge amount. Scholke rolls to his left. He throws it. He's got a receiver that catches it and is pushed out of bounds and thrown down out of bounds.
We're looking for a flag.
We're looking for a flag, but I don't see one.
Yeah, that was almost close to the track.
Yeah, I think he almost. I think you're right, Hank. He was borderline.
Yeah, that I just. Fourth down. Everything was looking good until that one personal foul that went against the Panthers that took them way back. But it's still fourth down and about 12 here. And if you're the Panthers, I wouldn't panic. Just go with what you know.
It looks like they can get a first down inside the 1 yard line. And timeout Panthers. They use their first timeout of the half. So there's 2:09 remaining in the third quarter. And this is the Panthers' third drive. They've dominated this third quarter, not only with time of possession, but they scored 2 touchdowns. They started this drive at the Buffalo 45-yard line, and the ball rests at the Buffalo 13-yard line. It's about 4th and 12, and Scholke. It looks like Scholke's going to stay at quarterback.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. Scholke's on the sideline there, so he takes his helmet off, so maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, he's over here, close to the sideline, so I guess they're going to take and are they going to kick a field goal? It looks like.
Okay. And, hey, we talked about this. It'd be nice to kick a field goal. This is our first field goal attempt of the season.
Yeah, and we thought it would be about the range here. Will be right close to 30 yards. So it'll be right 29, I guess, if they
29 yards.
Really heavy
stiff
wind. Yeah. When you see the flags basically standing at attention, waving really hard the way it is right now, we're seeing a heavy wind. So it's so hard it knocked it off of the tee. So
it did. And then next Friday, volleyball plays at home against IW High School, and I'm not sure who that is.
Incarnate Word.
Incarnate Word, okay. High School. That's what I thought. But so the kickoff goes this time. It looks like it's fielded at about the 34-yard line, and number 11 took that, Joshua Charez Jr. for the Buffaloes, and he was pounced on by one of the Panthers. So
the ball kind of squirted out a little bit is why it didn't seem like he had full control of it.
So the second drive of the half for the Buffaloes, the first one was an interception. The second drive is going to start at about the 33-yard line of the Buffaloes. So 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side, shotgun formation. Handoff, he does hand it to Awad. He's off to the right side. He's got a bunch of room, and he's showing off a little bit of speed there, and he's pushed out of bounds at around the 50-yard line. So first down run.
That was actually one of the better runs we've seen tonight by Awad, as the Panthers not able to get him off of the edge and turn him back in. He was able to get the outside edge.
So the ball is spotted at the Buffalo 47-yard line. 1st and 10 for them, for the Buffaloes at their own 47. Same formation. Shotgun. He drops back. He's getting pressure. He's going back. Jacob Harris is all over him, and he just throws it away.
Yeah, Linder had nowhere else to go with it, and now he's a little slow to get up.
Yeah, he is. He's limping quite a bit, but it looks like he's coming back into the game.
Yeah.
Hobbling on that right leg.
Either the coach is going to take a look at that and either, time out.
Yeah, he can't put a lot of weight on that right foot or right knee. He is.
Yeah, he's hobbled a little bit, but Arias, man, what can you say? Coming through the line and really making a big play on that one.
Man, he shot through the hole. Arias again. So 2nd and 10 for the Buffalo. Oh, and the Panthers show blitz. But he's wrapped up, handed off to Bo Brumley. Comes off the edge, and here we go again. Another yellow hanky on the field.
Yeah, several of them. It just look a late hit piling on. I mean, you don't see that as much, but you see it piling on. Bo Brumley, first one to get there. Personal foul goes against the Panthers.
Yeah. So it's a dead ball foul. That's going to be a first down. And so he's marking it off all the way down to the 40-yard line of the Panthers. So,
well, we haven't got into the fourth quarter, so Panthers still need to be careful. You know, we've seen some last-second wins against this Giddings Buffalo. This Giddings Buffalo has not beat the Panthers.
That's right. In
ever.
I think six times.
Yeah. Since 2016, they've been playing against each other every year, and that has not happened.
But always a hard-fought game.
Oh, yeah.
So, handoff, no fake. He throws it to the right side, caught in the flat. Nice pass. And
nice grab,
he stretched out to grab that. That was Colby Clemens.
Yeah, that's the Clemens you were talking about. Was a back, and they're converting him over to receiver, and he's actually doing rather well. And they can still use him as a back or receiver, but man, he can catch the ball.
So that was a pickup of 5 yards for the Buffaloes. So they have the ball at the 35-yard line of the Panthers. Again, same formation. For the Buffaloes. Oh, and number 2, he just got started a little bit too quick there. Clemens is going to be penalized for just a false start. So that's gonna negate his 5-yard catch. So
yeah, but he'll still get it in the books as 5-yard reception. But well, it looks like Lago Vista Vikings have really ran away with it here with 35-8 over Smithville Tigers as they are in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes remaining.
So there's 27 seconds left in the third quarter, and the clock is counting down. The snap's back. He's going to throw it to the right side. And, nice. Again, a nice throw.
We got
that was Topachki again.
We got
a 9 route, and we do have a flag.
Yeah, we have a penalty.
Incomplete pass, though.
Coach Blunt is asking for the ejection of a player from Giddings. Looks like he took a swing at one of the Panthers. Not sure if he connected or not.
So
we'll take a look at.
See what happens. That was a 2nd and 10 play. It looks like Patchke again. They ran this a little bit earlier. It almost looked like a 9 route on sportsmanlike conduct against
Giddings.
And Blunt is still asking for an ejection.
I don't think he's going to get it. Dead ball. Wait, no, he's getting the clock. He's asking for is he asked? Yeah. Here's okay.
So that's going to. Well, they're still sorting it out here, folks. Man. I'm gonna.
It's always tough from up here.
I'm gonna pull out the record book here for the Navarro Panthers and see most penalties in a game.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's on here or not, but
it's pretty close to that, and that's really slowed down this game here altogether from the end of the second quarter and all. So. Yeah, pulling, and all those were compliments of Scott Kibbe, believe it or not, that we have. I think they were put in the program as well this year.
So 3rd and 25 now. The ball's backed up to the Buffaloes have it at their own 45. He's got a lot of pressure, and he's sacked. Gabriel Rangel came in, and again, a nice, I'd say a coverage sack, but I don't want to take anything away from Rangel.
Yeah,
but, man, he didn't have any receivers to throw to there.
No, and plus his field was limited when you roll out one side or another. I mean, you don't have a big field to throw to, and the receivers, you can have them at different depths, and staggered. And so I don't think he had much to to choose from. But
and his receivers were back on the center of the field, pretty deep.
Right. And Rangel was just after him from the get-go.
And Rangel showed some nice speed on that.
Yeah. So here we are now. We finally get out of the third quarter. We're in the fourth quarter with 28-7, with the Panthers leading here over the Giddings Buffaloes. But overall, though, I think the Panthers played much better, overcome adversity much better. I think Coach Blunt made it a big point that as bad as things are, they can get better. You don't just dwell on the past. You got to keep marching forward.
Right. And man, that was a dominating third quarter for the Panthers. They had the ball 3 times and they scored all 3 times. 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
That's right.
And then on defense they picked up an interception. So
awesome.
And we've still got the second drive here. So Giddings does look like they're going to punt, and Cade Patchke, who I feel like I've said his name about 20 times tonight, is he's back to punt for them. He kicks it. He's got the wind at his back. The ball drops at about the Panther 40-yard line and rolls sideways. And and the Giddings player just kind of flips it out of bounds.
Yeah, he was like, just get it out of here.
Just threw it, and the Panthers are gonna take over at their own, looks like 42-yard line.
Yeah. Well, I just want to mention real quick that the Geronimo Volunteer Fire Department is having their fundraiser, their annual fundraiser, a barbecue, an auction,
which they do every year, and it's a good time, right?
Yeah.
I've been out a couple of times. It's been a little while, but
October 1st.
So the Panthers hand it off up the middle, and can't see who the ball carrier is, but it looks like he picks up a couple of yards.
20, Caleb Garcia on the carry.
Caleb Garcia, number 20, on the carry. And it looks like he's going to pick up about 3 out to their own 45.
Well, again, the Panthers need some confidence going to district, and I think they're going to get it here if they can finish this strong tonight.
So Cohen Blunt up the middle. He carries the ball for almost 5, about 4 yards out to the 49-yard line of the Panthers.
Yeah,
that's going to set up what, third and
3 or so, maybe almost 4.
Almost 4.
And you just got to love what the Panthers are doing right now, is able to move the ball on the ground with some efficiency.
So Bryce hands off. Landon Taylor, he's going to have the first down. He wraps up the ball. He's twisted it. He spins, and
he wants to keep going.
He wants to keep going. I'm not sure.
It's thinking, I'm on top of the defender. I never went down.
But he's down to the 45-yard line of the Buffaloes. And the clock is ticking with 10:43 left in the fourth quarter. It would be nice to see the Panthers punch another one in here.
Yeah,
just get some rhythm on the offense. Not that they haven't had it, but to get some rhythm and going and some momentum. Just keep going in our way. So Walker Dietz with the handoff to the right side makes quick little back, man. He's got some rabbit feet almost. And he picks up 4 yards on that.
And what you like to see about most backs that are able to move and with quick feet is that jab step. When they put that foot down to change directions, they're not changing speed. They're just changing directions, and that's what you like to see from a good cutting running back. And then not necessarily, like I said, just because you have a good jab step doesn't mean you're slowing down. Those that have good jab steps and keep going with that speed do very well for themselves.
So the handoff is to Guerra, straight up the middle, and there's a little fight again after the play, but no flags this time. He picks up.
No, I think Landon Taylor got rolled up on, and so did one of the other Panthers. So we had 2 Panthers down at that time. They just got kind of rolled up from behind, and Guerra, I think, was one of them.
So it's going to bring up about 3rd and 4. The ball's looks like it's marked at the 39-yard line of the Buffaloes. And
did you want to go into? Did we want to go ahead and see the QR code?
Sure, let's pop the QR code up there one more time.
And that way we can ask for more donations for the Audiovisual Club here at Navarro. And just getting this thing started with the assistance of the Panther Posse and Monticello, what is it, art, film, and design. Always get that part, but they do a lot of production work and stuff. And so we're thankful to have them to help get this thing started. So there it is, the QR code. And did you ever find out, Lance, if we had any stats on the records? See what
I'm
most
digging.
penalties.
I'm digging right now.
I wish we could just do a little search and pull it up, but all the football records and things like that we have, and thanks to Scott Kibbe, or we wouldn't have that at all.
Right.
And put together a lot of the records that we have here from as long as he's been doing them.
Right. And you know what? I don't see anything on penalties, which probably makes sense. But, it would be interesting to see as much flags as we've seen this evening.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Again, and that's the QR code. So thanks for those that have donated, because, this can't go on unless they do have those donations. So, but it's very much appreciative.
That's right. So they're moving the injured Panther off the field here as we speak. So,
and like I said, it looked like he got rolled up on, and sometimes that happens, and you hope it's nothing, for the knee, anything serious. Let me see if I also was looking up. I saw that Wimberley looked like Wimberley was going to take that one home with 31-21 over Lampasas.
Oh, that's a little tighter than I probably would have expected, but
but
it is up in Lampasas. So.
Yeah, and Lampasas always plays get home. Actually, I'll take that back. It's 38-21.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where Wimberley has taken off here with the fourth quarter.
So Bryce hands it going to the. Sorry.
No, I didn't.
To Gabe Rangel.
I'm a little behind
and there's another flag down. That was a 3rd and 4 play.
And
a penalty, it looks like, against the Panthers.
Is that we're probably looking at getting close to 20 flags at least. Between 20 and 30, I just, like you said, I am now wondering how,
I know, I got you thinking over there.
Oh, man.
I've seen a bunch of games, and, man, I can't remember this many flags. And it seems like we've had a couple of games over the past few years where we've had a bunch of flags. But man, tonight, it's like, whoo. I mean, remember, you were talking about it in the first quarter when there was just a flurry of them, like every play or 6 straight plays or something.
Yeah, we had that happen too. But early on for the Panthers, we didn't see very many at all until in that second quarter.
3rd down and 15. He hands coming to the left side. It's Rangel. It's the same play. He does pick up about 6, it looks like, down inside the 45 to the 44 of the Buffaloes.
Well, that'll bring up a 4th down now for the Panthers. So what do you do here? Do you punt it, or do you try to – because I know the defense feels good about themselves, so I don't see a problem being on their side of the field just at the 44-yard line of the Buffaloes. So I don't see a problem going for it here.
No, it's 4th and 9. Does look like the Panthers will go for it. No, under center. He's going to throw it. He's got Bo Brumley running, and he throws it. Throws it a little late, it looks like, and behind Bo. But I saw him break open.
Yeah.
And I was like, throw it.
Yeah. And he's tall enough to let him go up and get it put in a place where he can go grab it. Bo Brumley stands about, what, 6'3"? 6'2"?
Yeah, 6'2", probably.
Yeah, and so he's not a short person out there.
No, he's not. He's not.
Yeah, with cleats, we'd say at least 6'3".
So, right. So the Panther 4th drive of the half ends in downs, and a lot of penalties there. We shot ourselves in the foot several times, but that's okay. We're still up 28-7, 8:09 left. The Buffaloes are going to take over their 3rd drive of the half. at their own 44-yard line. It's a handoff. It's a wad. I think he gains a couple of yards. And, again, there's some extracurricular activities after the play. But I don't see a flag, Hank.
Yeah, not for once, we don't. I did have to say, Gerald really came out of their shell tonight against Taylor. 26-13 with around 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter in that game. And Gerald is, they were not the favorite going into that game. So that's a little bit unusual and kind of surprising.
So it's going to be 2nd and 8, and again we have another stoppage in play. Timeout Giddings.
Timeout Giddings.
That is their first. They've got 2 left there, so. And it looks like we've made some substitutions on the defensive side. And, hey, you know what? I'd see some good news for the Panthers. It looks like Ian Palmer came off hobbled in the first half, but I do see him back out there. Not on the field, but it looks like he's running around and moving around a little bit. So that's good news for the Panthers.
He's
a big boy.
Big offensive lineman, good and athletic. So
made a touchdown catch last week.
Yeah, you like to see him out there, that's for sure. But he is a little slow right now, but we'll see. Give him some time, and he'll be out there ready to go in 2 weeks. At least I pray he will.
Right.
And then the big thing this week, though, I think for athletics is that tennis district championship match coming up against Livonia, right?
That's right.
What is and that's this week. And I didn't catch the date on it. If that was Wednesday.
Let me.
I'm sorry.
Look.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, it is Wednesday. A couple of big things. Remember, the Future Fair is coming on. Our open house is on Wednesday at 5, and then at 4:30, right here, you've got tennis district championship. Which good luck to the Panthers and Coach Blunt and her squad.
Yeah, and tomorrow night we may have a surprise. For the Navarro Panther Network, we might get to see a play.
Right, we've got a play. So
a little
Buffalo's got it. They hand it off straight up the middle. I think the ball's loose. The Panthers are saying that they've got the ball. The coaches are saying that we've got the ball.
You can hear the crowd and coaches and everything. Ball.
But it looks like number 2. That's Colby Clemens. Running the ball. It looks like he does retain it.
Well, then they're throwing the little footballs up here too. So, like, hey, ball, yeah.
Right.
Throw it up here.
So it's 3rd and 8 from the Buffalo's got it at their own 46. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation. He is going to throw it. He's looking to his left. He does throw it, and
oh wow!
Oh, I thought for a second there that the Panther player might have had an interception, and that's Knox Galini.
Yeah, Galini
with the coverage.
It looked like he was going to be able to pick that one
off.
Yeah,
didn't it? It looked like he had a better beat on the ball than the actual receiver, but. That wasn't the case. So it's going to bring up 4th down.
I still believe he had a hand on it, like a tip, and it was a heck of a job by the receiver to keep the concentration to pull it in.
So it's 4th down, just inside Panther territory at the Panther 49. 4th and 4. He's back to pass. He's going to throw it to the right side. He's got a receiver. He catches it. He's going to have a 1st down. And again, Knox Galini brings him down. That was a reception by number 6, Kazmersky, Wyatt Kazmersky, Jr. So it was a nice catch, and it was a pretty decent throw. And they pick up just enough down to the Panther 42-yard line.
Yeah, Galini was a little behind on that one. Didn't get out there. I think that was his coverage area, and just a little bit behind on that one. Was hoping for another throw that would be a little behind to get that interception.
So 1st and 10, he hands it off. He does hand it to Clemens. Clemens runs down inside the Panther 40, so he picks up 3 on that.
Well, I can even hear it in our crowd, Mike, the wind, picking up as well again. So, and that is something that I thought we would see if Giddings wanted to really try to play hurry up, catch up, that they're just content to take this one home running the ball. But
Right.
Clemens looks like he's running with a little more authority than we saw with Awad right now.
So clock down to about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Second and looks like about 7. Hands off, coming right, and a nice play to slow him down with Galini, but then he's met with a host of Panthers. Looks like a nice tackle there by Hayden Tolliver, and we've seen Hayden in a lot of tackles tonight. He's played a whale of a game.
Yeah, I mean, the linebackers for the Panthers have done a great job tonight overall. But I still have to say, on the offensive side of the ball, grinding it out, the offensive line has just done tremendous tonight.
Yes, and it's 3rd and 7. Shotgun formation. He fakes the handoff. He's got a lot of pressure, and he's going to be sacked. That's Jacob Gilbert, number 35. He didn't have a lot of time. He was looking deep, and Gilbert was right there.
That's another tall young man out there. Gilbert coming from that defensive inside, and sometimes they have him inside actually as a defensive tackle, but good job either way getting through the line. It looked like he came in almost untouched.
Right.
I think he did a good little I wanted to say it looked like he did a good swim move.
So that's going to be 4th and about 14. And the ball sets at the Panther 46-yard line. 3:30, the clock is counting. Bo Brumley putting some pressure. He turns back around. He's retreating. He dumps it off to his receiver, but Awad. But oh wait,
yeah,
looks like the quarterback for Giddings is really upset.
Oh, he was saying something back to the official, and they were asking, like, hey, throw the flag.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there at the end. Let's try to see what happened at the end of that. That was an interesting.
Let's see, right here is the play.
So he turns back around and he's running, and Bo Brumley's chasing him. Of course, Jacob Arias hits him and tackles him after he dumps it off.
Let's see.
And he runs back after Landon Taylor.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
I don't know what happened there, but it was an interesting situation. So Colton Schulke just runs it straight up the middle.
Oh, I like that play.
Yeah, and he gains about 5.
Things are getting a little chippy. I mean,
they are.
There is no love lost between these two teams over the years. It has really turned out to be one of those rivalries now because all these games have been close, and for the most part, I would say, and not all have been tight. Now this is one of those, and this is one of those bounce back games for Panthers at home. Panthers haven't lost at home thus far in this season.
No.
All their losses come on the road.
That's right.
Let's hope they can rectify that by Lago Vista.
So it looks like Schulke's still in there. He hands it off to Caleb Garcia over the right side. They push him back after looks like a short gain. That's going to bring up 3rd down with a little over 2 minutes left here in the game and counting.
Yeah, and those kind of plays that linger on like that, and you get those extra little hits in and there, those are the responsibility of the officials. Go ahead and blow the whistle and blow it early, if you're going to do that. Wow, because, this game has lasted longer than some of our other games,
Right. Well, that's what happens when you got about 20, 25 flags that are thrown, right?
Right, exactly.
So it's going to bring up 3rd and 4 for the Panthers inside the Buffalo territory at the 48-yard line. He hands it off. It's Gabriel Rangel, and he's breaking several tackles down to about the 30-yard line. of the Buffaloes.
Yeah, I love that. You got to love it. I mean, because, again, talking about backs hitting the hole, that time,
Boy.
Gabriel Rangel had just, went through there like lightning. I mean, he sounded like a little race car coming right through there.
So a minute 20 on the clock, and looks like the Panthers are just going to.
Yeah, they're going to kneel it.
It almost looks like, yeah.
Hey, victory formation.
Right.
But where's the safety?
Right, yeah.
Good. We're not used to it.
He does snap it. He does kneel it. And there's a minute left in the game, so it looks like this is how the night's going to end for us, Hank.
Yeah, I'm happy with this ending, that's for sure.
Man. So it looks like the Panthers are going to go 2-0 at home, and
2 and
move
3
to 2 wins and 3 losses on the season.
There's the safety.
Yeah, and there we go. That should.
Yeah, that should do it.
That should do it.
Yep, there it is. The Panthers get to walk off the field victorious tonight. As I want to say, I credit a lot of this to the offensive line, but man, you got to say that defense really put a lot of pressure on Giddings tonight and just kept after him. We saw a good, aggressive defense that played without, reckless disregard for their bodies. You talk about Arias, you talk about Landon Taylor, Tolliver, Bo Brumley. I mean, you could name probably that whole defense tonight.
Right.
The coverage down the field by Blackburn, the coverage by Nall.
Right.
I mean, Rangel coming over from that safety position. I mean, just a wonderful display of defense tonight, holding him only to 7 points. And I wanted to say, I don't know if the Panthers have held Giddings to only 1 touchdown in a game since the series has started.
That's right. Yeah, it seems like, here, hold on. I've got a couple of scores, but it seems like they've been a little bit higher scoring games in the past, other than the 17-14 game. Yeah, here we go. So last year the score was Navarro 27-18 out in Giddings. In 2020, it was 21-7 played here, and that was a heck of a game, right? We had to come back in that game. And then in 2019, we won 46-32.
Yeah,
that was a high-scoring game. And then 2018, that was a Giddings team that was 11-2, probably the best team they've had in quite some time, but they lost 28-7.
Okay.
Same score.
So
but that was one of 2 losses. The second loss, they were undefeated coming into that game, and the second loss was in the playoffs.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, that was a game that when Brian Butler was a quarterback, and he just ran all over him that particular game.
So
just like Bryce Nall did here on that 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it was 51. I said it was 52. Well, it's all the same.
Right.
But what a game tonight, folks. Navarro Panthers, win it 28-7 over the Giddings Buffaloes. And so handed to the defense tonight, and the offense did what they needed to do to grind it out, keep the ball. They played a good keep-away game as well, especially in that third quarter, taking it all the way down inside 5 minutes, basically, before giving it back to Giddings. And, they didn't even give it back to him because they did an onside kick. So
right.
Wow.
Right.
So what a nice job tonight. I guess what we'll do after the school song here, we'll take it to a break.
A sponsor break, right?
That's right. We'll let the sponsor list roll and all. So
and then we got to figure out a player of the game.
Yeah, right.
And we got Scott Kibbe coming in too.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and start the break. You're watching Panther football on the Navarro Panther Network, powered by the Panther Posse.
All right, welcome back. We have Scott Kibbe's going to join us, and I think we're going to talk about the player of the game real quick, Scott, and you can chime in as well here. But man, there was a bunch of Panthers that played well tonight, and that was tough, right? Me and Hank, Hank said one name, I said another name, and then we duked it out.
Yeah.
And we finally decided that number 13, Landon Taylor, had a couple touchdowns in the first half and really played well on the defense from the defensive end perspective as well. And so that's our player of the game tonight, Landon Taylor. And hey, we could have given it to a couple of other people as well. Bryce Nall had a great game as well, and but
Arias,
Jacob Arias, man, he has played lights out at the linebacker position. And anyways, so Scott,
what do you think of our choice of Landon Taylor being the player of the game? Because I thought he played great on the defensive side of the ball. He was in on a lot of plays in that first half, particularly.
Yeah, Taylor, a good choice, especially for what he did on both sides of the ball. Arias, though, really defensively was a standout.
And he played well last week, I thought. So anyways, go ahead, Scott. What do you got for us?
For Giddings, 9 first downs, 23 rushes for 1 yard. That's helped by 4 sacks by the Panthers.
Wow.
123 passing yards on 10 out of 21 attempts with 1 interception. Panthers got their first interception tonight.
Right, first turnover.
Three penalties for 35.7. 3 punts for an average of 35.7. 2 fumbles, did not lose one. 13 penalties, 140 yards.
Wow.
For Navarro, 20 first downs, 53 rushes, 366 yards, 47 passing yards on 3 out of 4 attempts. They did not punt tonight. They had 1 fumble in that first series and lost it. And then they had I have them with 11 penalties, 120 yards. Leading for them, all kind of close together. Bryce Nall, 6 carries, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Landon Taylor, 12 carries, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Xavier Cropper, 7 carries for 71 yards.
Wow. So good job by the Panthers tonight overall, the way it ended up, because the Panthers seemed to have done what they needed to on both sides of the ball, because, time of possession, especially in that second half, was all Panthers, given that onside kick that took place as well. So just, just one of those where you're like, wow, amazing job in that second half, shutting them out completely from the end zone. That's a big deal. And we were looking back at the scores as well from the series with the Panthers, and this was an exact same score that took place in 2018 as well, 28-7.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
So we've seen the Panthers tonight, though, do something that they haven't been able to do with anybody else. And you were talking about before the game that Lavernia looked to be, Lavernia looked almost the same as what we saw with Giddings coming into this. Last week with Lavernia. Back they had one of their worst seasons last year since '81. The same for Giddings, but this time the Panthers really just took care of business.
Yeah, really, that offensive line had its first time to really dominate, to really get control of a game. Those holding penalties, so many tonight, though.
Yeah.
That's one thing they're going to talk a lot about. Honestly, some of them seemed to me way behind the play and maybe a little excessive, but. It was Panther football. You look at 366 yards rushing on 53 carries. That's what the Panthers do, and when the slot T is really working, and always coming over. I think on that one series they had first of the third quarter, 2 touchdowns called back, fourth downs, and they still managed to get the yards when they needed. A little more explosiveness tonight. Than they've seen, and the way the defense dominated, you just knew if they could get up a couple of touchdowns as they did. Really made some good adjustments, I think, to what Giddings was throwing at them.
Taking a look at Lago Vista, they looks like they're going to take care of business, or they did, over Smithfield Tigers 35-8. So we have to travel up there in 2 weeks to play the Vikings, and what do you look for in that game?
I think there are so many weapons that team has. We'll get a good look at them in the next couple of weeks. it's a good thing. It's a real good thing to have 2 weeks to prepare. And
Yes.
the fact is, the Panthers bringing some guys back.
Yes.
They can show some different things. They're not going to be as well scouted, I think, and
Right.
because of that. And you got to, you got to feel good going into that. Like, hey guys, it's a new season. You know, we've come a long way in a lot of areas. As a team, especially offensive line,
Right.
And it's
I
time
agree.
now to put it together and go in with confidence. I think this win, as ugly as it was at times, they were clearly the dominant team tonight, and I think it gets them what they were looking for.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, new season starts.
Yeah,
at
that's-
Laga Vista, and they've got it. And we'll all see this, right? But from my understanding, they got a nice dual threat running or a quarterback. He can run, he can throw. They've got a bunch of receivers, a bunch of speed. So yeah, it's going to be a challenge for the Panthers at the first district game.
Yeah, just they're gonna rely on just you want a good physical game, good Panther football, chew
Right.
up the clock.
Right.
That's
Play keep away.
Kind of reminds me when they first start off in 3A and we're doing that to
Right.
the Canyon Lakes and Bernies of the world. So,
And
yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
we should have some running backs back. I think hopefully maybe we'll see.
Y'all saw Chambers got in a little bit tonight.
Right.
He
Chambers,
didn't-
yeah.
I think he had 1 carry, but
Chapa
yeah.
maybe, Mabane. We'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
if they're back. And possibly Case Monroe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how if the rust will affect them or not. You know, sometimes you get a pretty good rhythm like some of these backs with Cohen Blunt and Guetta. Even though Guetta came off the field tonight, hurt a little bit looked like something to do with being rolled up on his knee or so. We're guessing, but still, nonetheless, I think the Panthers come back healthy in 2 weeks and we'll probably see a different team than we've seen. That we saw on the road in the games against Lavernia, Cuero, and Navasota. So we'll see. It's kind of one of those things. We'll wait and see. But one other score I was a little surprised at is that Gerald beat the Taylor Ducks 26-20. I thought that was a bit of surprise because I thought Taylor would probably win that game.
Right.
yeah, it surprised me too. Gerald's going to be a good challenge, but
Yeah.
Panthers are a pretty good team at Irwin Lee Field. They haven't they don't lose there very often. I think I'll say like 39 out of 41 now.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, that's a lot of games to win at home. So, well, Scott Kibbe, thank you so much, and we'll look forward to seeing your article in the Seguin Gazette and seeing you on Facebook with the Seguin Gazette as well, I guess, with your comments and such. And then, and are you going to have a featured article this Wednesday?
Not this Wednesday.
Oh,
I
okay.
think so.
Okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
if you were going to have a featured article or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
they're going to take some time off. I'm going to take some time off. So.
Gotcha.
We all should take some time off.
Right.
And get ready for the rest of the season. So.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Scott. We really appreciate it.
Well, we're Hank. We're five games in. The Panthers are 2-3. Another win at home. Feels good to be at home, right?
Oh, yeah. Always good to be at home.
And so we look forward to the district coming up, new season. So these games technically, did count, but they didn't count as far as the playoffs go. So let's go out to Laga Vista and get us a victory. I think we're going to see a completely different Panther team.
Yeah. Well, tonight
once we get out there.
Yeah, and tonight I just have to say I think we saw a different Panther team too,
We did.
especially on that offensive line. So again, kudos to that offensive line, and we saw it right away when they were firing out. I noticed it right off the bat. So
Right.
Wow, let's see if we can bring that kind of enthusiasm and intensity, to Laga Vista and take care of business there.
Right. Well, okay. So that's probably going to do it for tonight from Irwin Lee Field here in Geronimo, Texas. The Panthers do get the victory tonight, 28-7 over the Giddings Buffaloes. And you have been watching Panther football on the Navarro Panther Network, powered by the Panther Posse. So we'll say thanks to all the students and everyone, and thanks to the production team, and good night to all.
Good night.